All right. Yeah.
Now here's something for you to quote. In my left hand got the neck of the president in a hole that chokes. My right hand's busting shots, blowing holes through the poke. Provoke, we run with folks that'll crack your egg yolk. Every note be like laser beam scopes. In the Bible lies my faith and hope. What we saying ain't no joke. With the wicked become the blows. Got Satan exposed. They control the globe. And you're thinking what you eating and what you're drinking. It's been loose for a little season. Out there eyeing me. Devil in society. Illuminati. It don't stop. Organized by Adam Weishaupt. The wicked bastards think they got this plan mastered. We in hell and it's they heaven. Guess they forgot about Revelations 19 and verse 11.
No. You see, they hate to be opposed or exposed, letting you know about cameras on telephone poles. Remember that day 6 cable trucks was on your block until 5 o'clock, and yet the one times was so hot. You see, they got a whole plot. Why you even think they hold Glocks? But you see, my people know not. By the year 2G, the plan is the abandonment of you and me. You know, those that refuse to choose slavery, and graciously the Most High enabling me. The confession of their confederacy in Psalms 83. Watching you while you watch TV, along with perpetrated drive-bys and the myths, rumors and lies that fly by in the mist.
These idiots think they got it all figured out, but wait till Christ and the angels come back, the whole plan's gonna backfire.
Snakes in the grass, hear the sound of the snake tail rattle past, while your ass rushing fast with the heel of your boots. Illuminati getting broke by the word of truth. Gleaming, glittering, swords that slay, rip souls from flesh while bones decay. Pale face with forked tongues instigate, high snakes and witches that orchestrate. World wars kill scores, but by design, these plots drop stocks, birth rates decline. Germ warfare, sickness fills the land. All books and media's tag and scan. Worldwide web weaves its wily ways, while witchcrafts work with wondrous names. Technology, biology, psychology, pharmaceuticals, chemistry, high wizardry, multinational conglomerates counterfeit all men's dreams, schemes for dominance. They were started by the Jesuit priests, the physical manifestation of the spiritual beast, Satan. Job 9 and 24, they was waiting and contemplating of all of our annihilation. The elite, ultra-rich, secret society that controls the globe called the Illuminati like this.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Don't you know that this is the last days? My people better wake up.
Rattle past.
Don't you know that the white man is getting ready for warfare? While my people are at the club, partying, shaking their butt. Don't you know that the white man have microwave towers in your communities set up to destroy you? Right now, those microwave towers are on low frequency right now. That's why we have the highest count of AIDS in our community. That's why we have the highest count of sicknesses in our community. But just think when the racial wars break off, what's going to happen? They're going to turn those microwave towers up, and then what's going to happen? You're not going to be sick no more. Your brain is going to be melted through your ears. That's what's going on. Brothers better wake up, man, and pick up that Bible. This is no joke.
All right, shalom, peace. Welcome to another episode. DSTM, don't shoot the messenger. This is your brother Math. I acquire first name. IQ is all the same. Shalom and salute to all the saints in the house on this blessed Lord's day, man. How's everybody doing? Throw a 7 in the chat if I'm coming in clear. If I made sure that I'm taking myself off of mute, that y'all can hear me, and that you're doing well today on Shabbat. Man. Throw a 7 in the chat. Let's communicate a little bit, man. Salute to the saints that's in the house. My brother Shalak, shalom to you out. Prayerfully you doing well up there. My brothers out there in the Northwest, man, UGL, Malachi, shalom, yeah. AR247, shalom, shalom, shalom. Charlotte Rock in the house as usual. Shalom to you. Rosemary, my sister out there in London, shalom to you. Kohath, my good brother in the Midwest, shalom to you. The Quab down there in the heated AZ, man, shalom to you. Right? Brother Jason, shalom to you. Zakar over there in Sin City, man, shalom to you and the family, man. Pray for you and the fam as well. Looks like I'm coming in solid, man. All praises. All praises and honor and glory to the Most High. Why Yahweh? That's meaning all praises to the Most High, whose true name is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten and anointed Son, who the world is confusingly calling him Jesus Christ. That's who we give all praise, honor, and glory to in the name of Yahweh. Prayerfully, everybody's doing solid, man. All right, I see some sevens moving. All right, all praises. You see the title, man. The police state is here. That's why I just gave y'all a minor definition. What do I mean by that when I put that title up there? Some of y'all may not be familiar with the terminology. Some of y'all are just kind of getting into this truth. Some of y'all been in for a little while, but really don't know the whole scope of what we're dealing with. When we're talking about the beast system, when we're talking about the last beast who's given power by the dragon, Satan, right? This place is the ultimate stop when it comes down to all manners of evil, wickedness, globalist control, oppression, lies, fornication, adultery, idolatry, you name it. It's going to show its ugly face on a greater scale than we've known. The song that I played earlier is called the Illuminati. Just by saying that word, man, YouTube is going to send the bots out and say, they talking about us. Mark the video and start scanning it for everything and anything that they're saying, that he's saying. It is what it is. All right. That song was done in 1998. I see my brother Ashar gave reference to Goody Mob. Goody Mob, shout out to Goody Mob. Goody Mob got a story about them. We went to back in our younger years in the truth when Goody Mob came out. I forgot what year it was, maybe 95, somewhere in 96, whatever that year they came out. Me and a few brothers went to one of their shows. They had a little show out here in LA, and we went, served them brothers literature, had a little conversation with them. They was in agreement with some of the understandings that brothers did. We didn't have a whole breakdown. Mind you, this is right after they show. They trying to get up out of there, so we made sure we made a mad dash over there to get them on point. And I believe one of them brothers, all praise to the Most High, Brother Cujo, actually started acknowledging himself as an Israelite and was following the truth. Whether or not he's still doing that, I'm not sure. Prayerfully, he is. And I've heard CeeLo make mention of us being the chosen people, and not saying it's because of us. They could have already been learning, but I know for a fact we definitely gave them brothers some literature and had conversations with them regarding the truth. And that was, like I said, 96. Just a little side note on the Goody Mob thing. So outside of that song was made in 1998. Can you imagine? That's damn near 27 years ago that we were talking about. And that wasn't when we knew the information. That was when we had the opportunity to publish it. So don't get it twisted. We're not new to this. This is not some viral moment. This ain't something we stumbled across and, seen some TikTok videos and said, hey, this sounds like some real stuff going on. Let's make a video and put no. We've been talking about this for over 27 years. That's just on record. But what did we know prior to that? We already knew about a lot of this stuff and we're talking about it. As you can see, even us, we've been talking about we're in the last days in 1998. One of the brother Tazama who was rapping on there, he said, by the year 2G, the plan is the abandonment or the enslavement of you and me. So we was thinking, even at that time, like by the year 2000, man, this thing might really go wild, which here we are 25 years later, we're really seeing some of the elements of the global control that Esau wants to establish via a police state. And y'all, I put the definition up there so y'all can kind of see. How do you recognize this? Because now you're seeing, and we're going to focus a lot on this immigration thing, ICE, the militarization of the police, the actual military being used now to back up ICE. And you can see, if we need to, let's go there and let's just read it real quick so I can kind of help anybody who's kind of new to this information. You may not be new. You might be like, man, I heard about that. I heard it referenced in a movie. And, yeah, this is all real stuff, y'all. And I was telling brothers too, remember brothers even made mention about technology being used, technology, psychology, biology, pharmaceuticals. That was high wizardry. I mean, we're talking about 27 years ago, we're talking about the overtaking of society, utilizing technology. Now, what is everybody locked into? What is everybody focused in on, addicted to? Technology. Technology is being used as a weapon, right? Biology, we already talked about, we were talking about germ warfare, biological warfare, pandemics being used, if you will, right? They're controlling what we drink and eat, with the overtaking of the, as we, I got one article where we, get to later on, but you see the overtaking of the food companies, the destruction of food plants, all of these various recalls, the technologies of coming up of all the franking foods and the water supplies now being told, oh yeah, guess what? 70% or more of the water supplies or the waters that's coming throughout the United States is tampered with medicals and with metals and forever chemicals and fluoride and sterilants and all kind of stuff. Population control. We were talking about the damn cameras on telephone poles, microphones listening to you, cable trucks. Now you can hear about the smart TVs is listening to you, smart dishwashers, smart refrigerators. I mean, all of this stuff. And that's why, and I'm not saying to say, oh, we were some big old gurus, but I made mention to some of the brothers in one of our chat groups that it's amazing. And I'm kind of like in a daze when I'm like, wow, this is when you see it all manifesting. And the times that we've been sitting back waiting and taking it on the chin about, well, you said that time, you said this was going, y'all thought we were talking about the last that you are. And now it's becoming mainstream media where they want to talk about end times. Illuminati is a damn word that everybody in their mama knows now. All of this stuff now is becoming more prominent. Why? Because the gloves is off. Our oppressors are coming in and they're saying, you know what? There ain't no holding back on this. By 2030, it's lit and we're going for broke. You got a 4 or 5 year plan. You just seen JFK pop out talking about he wants, if possible, he wants everybody having wearable tech to track and trace everything that you do. The elimination of the dollar is on the table. Utilizing digital currencies, right? A cashless society. All of those things is on the table right now. You got the Olympics coming up in 2028. What better way to establish some global catastrophe, something going on when all nations are gathered together, a new pandemic, who knows what they may do in the next 4 years, which transitions into a 2-year plan to get everything under control. Their control, all right? It's going to be I'm going to try to be concise. I'm going to try to go through it, but you know how it goes. Move in the spirit with me, y'all. But we got a lot to discuss. Wipe your feet if you have not already. I need everybody locked in, focused, man. You might need to take some notes and do your own research because I'm going to be moving, but at the same time, I want to make sure that y'all are paying attention because we're in critical moments right now of awakening and awareness for our people to really lock in. There's a lot of distractions out there right now. Don't worry about what's going to happen to Diddy. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about, for some of y'all who ain't locked in, you don't know what's going on. There's a viral gangster dude out of LA. named 4 Extra. He just blew his hand off messing around with fireworks. That's what his ass gets. He shouldn't have been out there celebrating. He just had a video going viral before holding two sticks of low-level dynamite. Talking about, yeah, I'm about to blow everybody. I'm blowing y'all up. I'm on the hood. And doing all this. And next thing you know, there's a viral picture of his hand blown off. Our people are going to need to be humbled and brought down to an estate where they got to realize that it's bigger than you, bigger than me. What's getting ready to come down the pipeline is getting ready to get at all of us. That's why I said, hey, is the black folks next? Because that's a narrative that's out there too. You know, the Northern Kingdom is out here saying, hey, help us, y'all the next. And Negroes is out here, nuh-uh. Y'all wasn't there when we was going through it, or y'all been over here hating on us, especially in LA. There is a particular divide, not on a greater scale, but in the places in the inner cities where it kind of matters, there is a racial divide, there is racial contention between blacks and Hispanics. And at this point, it's kind of like, oh, y'all catching hell now? Y'all want us? Oh, well, we ain't. But guess what? The plan is for everybody. Yes. You want to know if black folks next? Emphatically, yes. And the scriptures tell us that. We'll get to it, right? But let's look at this real quick. A police state describes a state whose government institutions exercise an extreme level of control over civil society. An extreme level of control. So you tell me, is it extreme level of control spending $500 billion on AI technology by companies that are based into transhumanism, companies that are based into high-level data tracking and control, companies that are based into creating technologies to track, trace, and snoop into every level of your life, right? You tell me if that extreme control is extreme control, militarizing and having a quote unquote military budget for ICE, which is supposed to be border control and immigration services. Now they're at military levels, masked up, unmarked cars, given certain levels of immunity to do whatever they want, to establish quotas and snatch up people off the streets. A few weeks ago, we made the comparison between them and a particular secret police that was being used by the NAZIs. You know who that is. Didn't we talk about them? The Gestapos I lost my train of thought. Brother Jason, you know, you brought it out as well when we was talking about the comparison between ICE and the NAZI's private military police that was out checking for papers. I don't know why I'm losing a thought of what exactly they was called, but I got so much on my mind right now. I'm trying to do data dump loads and put it in perspective to make it clear, concise, and understandable. I can't remember the name of the damn police right now. That the lit hit lure it you put his name in perspective. You know what I'm talking about. He had his own little police that was out checking papers. Why am I doing this? I could do it. Brother Jason must have fell asleep because he called it out, and I said, "Hey, you called it." The Stasi. Was it the Stasi? What's going on here? I mean, you kind of see the same terminologies being utilized here, right? You see these? Oh, see all this? These are all things that we're seeing in the same way. Okay, you say the Stasi. Okay, there you go. So y'all know where we're coming from when I'm speaking on this matter. And then you wonder, is there an extreme level of control over civil society and liberties? Liberties, meaning laws, right? There was. My bad, Brother Jason. I'm giving you credit for somebody else. But it's all good. All good. Don't worry about it. We all know. Maybe it was subsequently. I think it was subsequently that made mention. But nonetheless, this is where we're at right now. Okay. You wonder and just think about everything that we've been talking about DSTM and your own research and your own observations, and you're kind of seeing where and how this whole thing is going down the pipeline. If you notice, your man Agent Orange, 47, he's been given now almost unprecedented power and backing right now. Notice it started off rough for him. Everybody was against it. Now all of a sudden, all governmental agencies are starting to ride with him. But let's continue. Okay, extreme level of control over civil society and liberties. There is typically little or no distinction between the law and the exercise of political power. You notice how people are wondering, is this constitutional? What are they doing? ICE is doing what they want. Oh, we don't have no right. We voted for this. We voted for that. And he's not doing it. Oh, you start noticing there's blurred lines between what's lawful, what isn't lawful. All of the investigations those was doing, getting access to people's social security numbers, all that other stuff, right? Remember, this was all controversial things and methods that he was using and is continually using and will continue to use, where there's blurred lines between law and his political power. And then when it becomes an issue, we'll take it to the Supreme Court. And guess who's bowing down to him? Bowing to the Supreme Court now, saying, hey, you know what? Let him do it. He's got it. There is typically little or no distinction between the law and the exercise of political power by the executive and the deployment of internal security and the police forces. And police forces play a heightened role in governance. So now the police with this immunity situation kind of jumping off, masked up, no questions asked, this, that, and the third, right? He could be deputizing all his little January 6th buddies, all of the extremists, slapping a mask on them, a vest, t-shirt, jeans, and a Glock on the hip, a hat and some glasses, and say, go out there and get them. You ain't got to answer no questions. You can use your own car. How about that? And don't worry, I'm steadily building up more facilities to house these people. Alligator Alcatraz, literal Alcatraz, El Salvador. He's gotten the authority now to deport people into countries that have no origin, no connection for anybody that gets deported. They can snatch you up and send your butt over there to the Sudan. They can send you to Libya. They can send you to damn Afghanistan. Any country that is willing to bow down and say, we'll take them over here. And you ain't got to go through the rigmarole of saying, hey, well, we ain't going to go through the paperwork. I mean, if you notice, El Salvador's are quickly to say, man, send them over here. I mean, they ain't worried about no papers. They ain't worried about no citizenship, naturalization. They ain't worried about nothing, but bring them over here. The more countries that sit back and say, okay, you know what? In exchange for another sip of that poisonous lactose milk coming out of this damn woman, the mother of harlots, right? All they want is another little sip, a little bit more money, a little bit more exposure, a little bit more power, a little bit more technology. They're willing to do whatever. So now he's getting a heightened role in the governance. A police state is a characteristic of authoritarian, totalitarian, my way or the highway, or illiberal regimes. I mean, I think we can attribute many of these particular verbs or adjectives or whatever, however the vocabulary works, to this regime that's running right now. Authoritarian, totalitarian, illiberal. Look up them terms if you're not familiar. Such governments are typically one-party states and dominant party states. So one party, it's Republicans is running things. Republicans have control of the House. Dominant party, right? But police state level control may emerge in multi-party systems as well. But that's not the case here. Okay. Now, let's get to some scriptures. So we can just run through this thing, man. If I'm making sense, it's coming in clear. You understand where I'm going with this, man. Throw a 7 in the chat so I can make sure that we're on one accord and everybody's understanding what we're. least stayed on day. Psalm 64, we're going to read 1 and 2. Hear my voice, oh Yahweh. In my prayer, preserve my life from fear of the enemy. That's one thing that we have to do. We look for the Most High to preserve us, right? And not to move in fear of the enemy. This is not fear mongering. I'm not telling y'all this to get you on edge and bite all your fingernails off and have you running back and forth to the bathroom. No. Because we don't move in the spirit of fear, man, right? But we have to move in the spirit of awareness. We have to move in the spirit of preparedness. We got to move in the fear of understanding and knowing that the trials and tribulations, Jacob's trouble, is part of our walk and part of our life. But at the same time, we know that deliverance comes through those methods. So we can't live in fear. We're praying that the Most High, through our prayers, preserves our lives and from the fear of the enemy. Verse 2, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, because this is how they're organizing, through secret counsels, dark counsels. We know in Psalms 83, it says that they've taken crafty counsel against our hidden ones, right? This is the things that they're doing. Crafty. They're saying, hey, you know what? The reasons why we need to go ahead and adjust and change these laws, and we have to get military on the streets when it comes down to these protests. You got to be protected from these black and brown. We got to make sure that they're not flooding out all in here. They're getting your benefits. They're getting your jobs. They're doing this. They're doing that. They're rapists. They're murderers. They're out here molesting children. This is all things that they're guilty of. And they make it seem like, and remember years ago, he said, and they're coming from sugar, honey, iced tea, HIT, whole countries. Remember he said that? They're coming from whole countries. They're rapists, they're murdered. So already in the weakened, insecure mind of the so-called white man and his woman, they're over here saying we're being invaded by aliens who want to rape my wife, take my job, and kill me. And maybe I should rephrase the wording, because you know how that works. Grape my wife, because the algorithm, whatever. Who want to grape my wife, take my company from me, destroy my neighborhood. We're going to vote for whoever is going to protect us from this. Meanwhile, them same things is going to be utilized against them as well. But they've got to get persuaded to ride the wave and say, this is for our own good. Now you see why you're hearing a whole lot of these people popping out saying, I regret I voted for him. He's not doing what he said he's going to do. Hold on, this is affecting my money now. This is affecting my company, my business. I'm not getting the tax cuts I used to get. Wait a minute, hold on. What are you talking about, immigration? I've got a whole company full of legal migrants that's got green cards, and you're shutting down my business because it's saying these people got to go. Wait, this wasn't how it's supposed to work. Oh, now all of a sudden it's a problem, right? Remember all them Latinos with Trump? They was out there. Yeah, we want Trump. We want the illegals out. We want more money. We want no tax on tips. You think that the tax on tips and OT, man, you ready to sell your soul for that? Okay. Now you're out there begging like an MF for like, hey, hold on, this wasn't fair. We didn't vote for this. Ay, Dios mío. No. That's because of the secret counsel, crafty counsel that they've taken. They're getting everybody that we all got connections with, and I'm not exempt. The technology, the internet, the crystal ball globe. I'm trying to monitor and really limit my usages of AI. But the way that things are going now, you won't be able to get on the internet without AI. If you notice, it's already locked into damn near every device. I just got a new phone like a week or so ago, and it's already got AI here. Your AI assistant here. Hey, I didn't ask for you, and I didn't get the hell off of my damn phone. We got the app on it. Can't get rid of it. Comes with the phone, right? You can't log into Google, DuckDuckGo, whatever little private, without something saying your AI assistant is here. You get a new computer. Oh, your AI assistant is here. Your co-pilot is here. Everything is locked in, right? But hey, we said it in that song, technology. It's all going to be part of the plan. But the Lord, through David, said, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. The insurrection of the workers of iniquity. What did they call January 6th? An insurrection. Huh? Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, and even bitter words. Yeah, the bitter words, man. Get out of here, you illegals. Get out of here. They're destroying our country. They're destroying our sovereignty. Oh, every word in the book, nigga speak, byword, proverb, we're all included in that, man. Don't look at the brown folks and be like, hey, the so-called Browns, which is our Northern Kingdom brothers, they're going to say, oh, it's just for them. Right now, they're the target. But we've made mention of this before, that nobody's talking about the damn Chinese. They just caught 2 Chinese nationals spying and doing all kinds of stuff. Are they cracking down and saying, could there be more? Let's do mass sweeps in Chinatown, all throughout the country. Let's do mass sweeps in Korea. Are they doing it? No. Because why? We've always been the focus. Let's get the classic in Psalms 83. Quoting it, but let's look at it. Psalms 83:3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. Who? That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. We're always the target focus. So you can forget about it, hold on. They just arrested over 100 Iranian officials because of they're looking at them to bullshit. No, they're not. That's all pre-staged BS. Like all of a sudden now they got the drop on over 100 Iranians that's been running around here thinking they might be sleeper cells. And now that you notice it's been quiet, you haven't heard of no further prosecutions, ICE raids on no place else, right? They ain't did none of that. They ain't cracking down on the China. They ain't cracking down on nobody from the Middle East. They ain't cracking down on nobody come from East India. They ain't cracking down on nobody from Eastern Europe. Come on, man. Because why? We're the focus, y'all. Don't forget. This is all for us. Not just the Northern Kingdom. Southern Kingdom as well. Proverbs 21:12. The righteous man wisely consider the house of the wicked. I always bring this one out. You got to understand and know what's going on in this house. The White House. You got to consider, man, what's going on in there. Man. Yeah, they in there having fight clubs. Yeah, they in there doing coke and weed and rats and roaches running around in there, man. The new swamp. They got new swamp creatures going on. Water moccasins, crocodiles, alligators. They got black widows in there. They got cobwebs. They got catfish, everything is in that damn place. They're calling it the swamp. He said he was going in there to clean it up. No, he just took out some old water, dumped in some new sewage water, a new cesspool of swamp things crawling around in there. And now they're out here biting, nibbling, and taking advantage of every little piece of power that they've been given through the authority of Satan that this beast is being powered by. Got to wisely consider what's going on. But the Most High overthroweth the wicked for their wickedness. That's right. Because ultimately, the Most High is going to take care of all of this. But it's not before we have to experience, witness, see the evils coming out before us. Look at this, Psalms 37:35. I have seen the wicked in great power. You see him. He's out here shaking hands. He's negotiating, quote unquote, deals, getting money, having these countries come back, Japan and others, saying, well, we'll build industry in America. We want the tax cuts. We want the money. We're with you. Great power, 170 plus military bases all throughout the earth. Just made NATO bow down, right, last week. Great power. Building up military budgets for a governmental agency, ICE and others. Great power. Manipulating and controlling the stock markets and how and in which way, economies move. Great power, starving out nations if they don't bow down. You understand what I'm saying? Ask the Palestinians if they're starving right now. At the hands and in the AK or the okay or the not okay given from America, Babylon. We're gonna see an article in a minute. Great power. Trump and the administration said that they're restricting arms being sent over to Ukraine right now. And Russia took full advantage and have been lighting their cheeks up, right? Lighting their cheeks up right now. Heavy bombings going on. And then you got to flash back and you got to remember, well, what happened in that White House? They call it the Fight House. When Zelensky got a little lippy with Agent Orange, and Agent Orange said, hey, you don't want to go there. We can make it very hard for you. You don't have any cards in this game. And now we're seeing what that meant. You understand? I've seen the wicked in great power and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Yeah, he's spreading his evil, his wickedness, his influence all throughout the world. All throughout the world, he's out there. And you're seeing it, and it's looking like that nothing can stop him right now. Everybody's on board. The Supreme Court, they were shooting down and stopping everything that he was trying to pass when he first jumped in. Now all of a sudden, birthright citizenship. Okay, we're on board, boss. Everything else he got going on, from the budgetary bill, that big beautiful bill. Elon tried to stop it. Everybody jumping out saying, "Hold on, that ain't right." This is gonna good point in the quad. I'm gonna highlight that so everybody can get a feel of that too. Hold on, where's that at? Let me throw that up there. Yeah, the mergings of powers. Oops. That's a fact. He's consolidating power in these agencies. He's just getting a greater budget. The big beautiful bill. Right? Now that's passed, which was supposed to be getting heavy opposition. People saying, hold on, this is pretty much a remix of the same stuff we were dealing with slow Biden and all the rest of the damn regimes that said that they're going to bring economic justice and economic control and make America affordable again. No. Remember, he said, yeah, it's going to be a little painful from the beginning. You're going to pay a little bit more here and there, but in the long run, we're all going to be rich. Who's we? Who's we? Black and Hispanics, unless you from Haiti or maybe Sierra Leone or one of these other West African countries that speak French. Nigga, we don't speak French. There's no we. You are going to get rich. We meaning your conglomerates, your billionaire backers, your controllers, right? That's where the money's coming from. The tax cuts and everything else. The little workers, man. Oh yeah, you get no tax on tips. Oh yeah, you're going to get tax-free overtime. Oh. But guess what? SNAP getting cut. Medicaid got some issues jumping off with that. Social Security, they say, oh, you're going to get a little bit more money. Don't worry. We're going to take care of you. But meanwhile, they're going to extend the ages of Social Security to make you work a little longer so that you can't even see the damn benefits. I mean, let's knock it off. And they're saying that this thing is going to cause much more debt and damage to the economy than anything. It's not going to be beautiful. For who though? Psalm 73, let's get to it, man. 3, verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Yeah, we sit back and scratch our head and say, man, this is bullshit. Man, look at this. Esau at it again, man. More, got the complexion for the connection. They gonna get more. We're gonna get less. We're getting persecuted in the streets, hunted down. We're getting kidnapped. We're losing our jobs. We're getting laid off. My company just folded because I couldn't afford it, to maintain it. Where's the tax breaks for me? Oh, you feel, look, this causes envious at the foolish. But remember Deuteronomy, what is it? Deuteronomy, I think it's 32, 21. The Most High said, I'm going to make you jealous of a foolish nation. When I saw the prosperity of the wicked, yeah, because now we're sitting back and we're saying, look at this. They're out here riding around with the American flags yesterday, wilding out. popping everything known to man, dying, blowing themselves up, having all kind of issues. They just had an explosion out here about a week or so ago at a damn warehouse that had fireworks in it, man. The damn thing blew up like it got hit with a damn predator drone. But this is the prosperity of the wicked, man. Banks failing, guess what? They get bailed out. They're giving all these unsavory loans to blacks and Hispanics, during the housing market crash and everything else. But they said, hey, the banks are too big to fail. Bail them out. And they gave the damn CEOs of the banks bonuses. Remember that? Hey, if y'all was around and remember in 2008, Obama popped in. They said the banks are too big to fail. Give them more money. Print up some money. They're too big to fail. We can't lose these big banks because this is where some of the hierarchies of evil come from. And then some of them CEOs, they got bonuses as a job well done for collapsing and destroying the economy so that they can come back in and throw different regulations on, banks, put more restrictions on people, reclassify how and why you file bankruptcy. They then snatched up a gang of people's properties, bank repossessions. This is how they operate, man. But continuing on, it says, for I was envy at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. It seems like there's no stopping them, man. There's nothing that can contain them when it comes down to destroying them and having justice. Strength is firm, He's got complete control of the government, from everything from the high courts on down to the church systems, to the damn cop walking the beat on the street. Everybody's in control. They are not in trouble as other men. Yeah, they don't go through the same things we do. Neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compasses them about as a chain. And you see the pride, the arrogancy that America is exuding through its leadership. Violence covereth them as a garment. Who's behind? Where do all roads lead when it comes down to these particular wars? Violence covered them as a garment. I mean, we know that this place has been established through violence. Colonization, false peace treaties. I mean, the list goes on and on. Y'all know what they did to the native and indigenous populations here. You know what they did to the so-called blacks over here, from West Africa to the islands and throughout the four corners of the earth. You know what they did to the rest of the nations. Even the rest of the nations have been establishing and getting hit up with violence. Go ask Vietnam. Go ask Korea. Go ask Japan. Go ask Ishmael in Afghanistan. Go ask Iraq. You saw the video of General Wesley Clark talk about their plan to take down 5 Middle East nations so that they can have control. Oh, we're going to start in Libya. Then we're going to go over here to Sudan. Then we're going to go over here to Iran. And last is Iran. I mean, you've seen all of them running down. All done through violence. Who's behind giving the go-ahead for NATO to sit back here and pump up this war between Russia and Ukraine? Oh, okay. All roads lead back to the same people who sit back supporting the small hat armies, fighting against Hamas, Palestine, same ones pushing the issue. We just seen what happened with them in Iran. Who's standing behind them with that? Who's battling with the Houthis? Who's over there with African, trying to control and establish dominance over there in Africa? We see who it is, and it's all done through violence. Battle of Wounded Knee, all the way up to Afghanistan, all the way up to them establishing violence here in the streets of LA, streets of Chicago, streets of Memphis, streets of Atlanta, streets of New York, New Jersey, you name it. I mean, you're wondering where and how are people getting a hold of military grade weapons? I mean, back in the 70s and in the 80s, I mean, cats was using 38 specials and zip guns. And if you was lucky, somebody might have get a hold of a gauge. Then when the drug trade comes in, which has been proven and it's factual that this all came through the CIA, government funded and government moving drugs in our communities. I showed y'all the article months ago where they was already knowing how to cook up crack in the 70s and showing monkeys how to smoke it out of UCLA. I showed y'all that. Now, how did they know about cooking up crack and all of this and having monkeys smoking in the 70s? And next thing you know, in the 80s, the New Age monkeys, the Israelites, is in the communities now learning how to cook up crack, sell it, smoke it, destroying our neighborhoods. And then guess what? In order to defend your territory and your money, we're going to drop off a little shipment of guns. You're going to get access to AK-47s, Mac 11s. You're going to get access to 357s. You're going to get access to all different type of weaponry now. Uzis, all this stuff is being used. There were stories about crates of guns being dropped off into Chicago. And Jake scrambling out there, grabbing them and flaming each other up. There was just a mass shooting in Chicago a few days ago at some little rapper girl's concert. You know, out there in the shop, man, when it gets hot, man, niggas get out of control. They had already killed, I believe to date that I remember, was 4 people dead. I think another 15 or 16 injured or something like that. Co-af, you can probably co-sign that. But where are they getting this stuff from? This is the violence that they utilize. Remember, he was given the power of the sword. Talking about Esau. He's covered with it, man. Verse 7, their eyes stand out with fatness. Their eyes bug out when they see something that they like, something that they covet, something that they want. They have more than heart could wish. I mean, how much more do you want? How much more does he need? He wants it all. From your rights, my rights, your persons, my persons, your property, my property, your land, he wants everything. Everything. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. Oh, stop talking about the past. Hey, you guys are just lazy. Oh, you trying to pull that black card? No, we're not doing that. Get off your lazy ass, nigga. You crying, you wet back here because you're swimming over here in the Rio Grande. They're trying to climb in and creep into our country. This is our country. Remember, you've heard all of the talk, speaking wickedly concerning oppression. Like they don't see and don't feel as though there's a systematic governmental beast that is built to oppress, hold down, and suppress you and me. And just because they let LeBron James just re-sign with the Lakers for $50+ million, he's controlled. Remember, he was told shut up and dribble. And the nigga's been doing that ever since. You don't see him stepping out, protesting nothing. He ain't said a word about ICE. He running around here talking about Taco Tuesdays and good nigga, shut up. You shut up and you do what we said. We'll make sure that you can play with your son. Your legacy can be complete. You can do everything you need, but you're going to shut up and dribble. You don't think just because they let a few slide through and they getting these contracts, they getting this money. Imagine if the Lakers can pay LeBron $50+ million at 40. Now, don't get me wrong. LeBron can still ball. He can still do his thing at 41 years old. But if they're giving one person $50-some odd million for 1 year of service, how much is that company making off of that Negro? That show you the value that we are, man. That shows you our value. I'm going to get another scripture on that in 1 second. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens and their tongue walking through the earth. Yeah, they don't care about the Most High. They ain't talking about nothing holy. Therefore, his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. And they say, how doth the Most High know? And is there knowledge in the Most High? Yeah, they don't care about the Most High. They say, the Most High, he ain't here for you. Blacks and Hispanics, y'all can pray to the heavens all you want to, man. You can go flood them churches all you want to. We control them. We're the ones who operated and gave them the theologies that they're out here teaching you. That's why the church is not a threat. There ain't nobody worried about the damn black church. They ain't worried about the damn Hispanic cathedrals. What they are worried about, all those little Negroes, man, is out there. Negroes and Hispanics is organized out there, unified with uniforms or colors or garments or whatever the case may be on the highways and the byways, crying aloud to tell our people to repent. They're worried about the ones who's out here breaking down the history, the archaeology, bringing out the truth, alerting our people. They're worried about the ones who are out here destroying the theologies that they've been establishing throughout the churches and telling our people that's a lie. This is the truth. Break free from that damn drug that you got stuck on your arm that you can't help but go get a hit every Sunday. Get out of there. That's what the threat is. They're saying there's any knowledge of the Most High, right? See, these are the things that's going on. And it's clear. Now, if we double back, we're just talking about what's the name, man? Lamentations 4, just to jump off on LeBron and all that real quick, right? It says, how is the gold become dim? Look, this is how you know that we are the gold. If one man can make, listen, if one man's value is over $50 million via a contract for him to play 82 games, and we know that LeBron's not paying 82 games, to play a basketball game for an hour or 2 hour, I mean, technically, it's 4 12-minute quarters. So a basketball game is literally 48 minutes. Not even LeBron, the brother that plays for Oklahoma that just won the championship, Gilgeous Alexander. He just signed a record contract. They said this Jake is making $1 million a game. $1 million a game, $1 million for 48 minutes. That's gold. That's the value one man brings to a corporation and a company that owns everything. How much is he making them, though? Think about that. How has the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? What happened to our people, man? Destroyed for a lack of knowledge, following after the ways of our oppressors, in love with idolatry, fornication, and all manners of wickedness, worshiping of gold and silver and money, being used as operatives to destroy our people with, narratives and leading our people astray, selling their souls. How has the gold become dim? How has the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. Yeah, because guess what? All of our young men is out here in the streets now, blowing their hands up with fireworks, hanging out, loitering in the streets, smoking weed all damn day with nothing else to do with their pants hanging off their butt. Gremlins, freaks coming out at night, the sisters coming out at night, looking for the next man she can manipulate to get a bag from. High-level prostitution. They claiming they ain't prostitutes, but hey, they're all out here saying, I need a man to make 6 figures. I need a man who's going to do this. If you want this, you understand? Pour it out on every top of the street, man. Influencing nothing but, folly through the music. This is what's going on. This is what it is. So let me get a couple more scriptures too, just to prove another point. Now, if the question is, hey, is it black folks next? Well, guess what? The Bible says this in Jeremiah 50:33. Thus saith the power of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah, hello, northern and southern kingdom, were oppressed together. So it ain't just gonna be, oh yeah, but let them ground up them Hispanics, man, because the Negroes out here, especially in the inner cities and certain places, most Jakes is like, yeah, damn, that's messed up. But I'm not gonna lift a finger to do nothing for them. I'm not about to, bring any awareness to the situation. Yeah, it's messed up, man. Yeah, they should be protesting. I always make mention, man, back in the 92 riots, I was a teen, and I remember blacks and Hispanics, man, running through the city, wreaking havoc together. And LAPD, so forth, they could not stop it. They was just out of control. They said, I'm trying to get back to Simi Valley and everywhere else to protect my family. They got the hell out of there. That's why they had to bring in the National Guard. Because when the Northern and Southern Kingdom come together and realize they're being oppressed together, and it's an issue, and when we unify, it's a wrap. When we unify and we repent in the name of Hamashiach Yahushua in the faith of Christ and keep these laws, man, it's over with. It's done. This is why they are scrambling so hard to keep the divide there. This is why they're scrambling so hard to keep the ignorances there. This is why they're scrambling so hard to keep us hooked on the pharmaceuticals. This is why they're utilizing informants and agents within organizations and within communities to destroy. The children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. So if you're wondering who else is going into camps and detention centers, who else can be utilized under certain levels of maybe not quote unquote immigration, but remember, I'm going to show you an article in a minute. Trump said, hey, we're going to use these on very quote unquote bad people next. So remember, he's gotten great power and spreading out like a green tree. So it's starting one way, but it's going to spread even further. Oppressed together. And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. So yes, this is part of our captivity. This is part of our bondage. And we were going to go through it together. It's not going to be exclusive just to the Northern Kingdom. They're going to get it. And guess who's going to follow? They're already focusing in on the Haitians. They're already focusing in on the West Africans. They're already focusing in. So they're already looking at the Southern Kingdom right now. They're already shipping and grabbing them up now, sending them to God knows where, disappearing them. It's already going on. So there is no question of are they, will they? It's already happening. And this is how you know why. Revelation 12:17, and the dragon was wroth with the woman. The woman is Israel, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. That's including northern and southern, right? The remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Mashiach Yahushua. So it's going to come down to even the righteous, even those who maintain law, statutes, and commandments, who don't bow the knee, who don't accept the markings that the system comes along with, right? Who don't compromise the commandments of the Most High and the testimony of Yahushua for being able to fit back into a society that's built to destroy you, if you follow. Okay, so let's look at a few things, right? I'm gonna play this little video. We're gonna let them speak. Look, arrest now, ask questions later. Why did LA ICE agents arrest and jail U.S. citizen Andrea Velez? Notice what it said: arrest now, ask questions later. Why is that? Because they're trying to fulfill quotas.
Now, democracynow.org. We go now to Los Angeles, where armed mass federal agents have spent the last month carrying out arrests across the city. Families, immigrant advocates say they're struggling to find their loved ones when they are disappeared. In one case,
did you hear that? Disappeared. Look at this guy. Got the hat, glasses, mask. He's fit the profile. One of the things they call a police state is a quote unquote secret police. Look that up. You just look up police state. You're going to see one of the definitions is a secret police being used by a government or totalitarian regime. Secret. Why are they doing this? Because they're operating in secret, or attempting to at least.
Case, the family of a community activist and mother, Juliana, they call her Yuli Pelez Calderon, said she was taken at gunpoint on June 25th by two men in unmarked cars who pulled over as she went to work at night, which is uncommon. She used a borrowed phone to call her family to say she was taken to a warehouse where women are held alongside men. She compared the men who took her to bounty hunters and has not had proper food or access to her medication. This is Stefano Medina, managing attorney with the LA office of California Center for Movement Legal Services.
So DHS is out now saying that this is a hoax and that this is all made up, and because they don't have any record of Julie.
Did you hear that? They rolled up on the woman, disappeared her. They allowed her to use a phone to call her, contact her loved one, said that she's being taken to a warehouse with men and women. She was disappeared, And then the family puts out a missing persons report with LAPD, the whole nine. They go to DHS and everybody else, and they say this is a fake story. That never happened. We don't have any record of this person that you're saying. How easy is it for them to do that and manipulate data and even say or even lie and say that? But I digress.
In their system, which I don't doubt. She's not in their system. But Julie, in that phone call that she made to her family from a borrowed phone, told us that she was taken directly from where she was picked up in South Central Los Angeles to San Isidro, where she was presented to an ICE official and pressured to sign a voluntary self-deportation agreement.
Medina says Yuli's family filed a missing persons report with the LA Police Department as they continued their search for her. Meanwhile, the family of Andrea Velez, a U.S. citizen, described her arrest by ICE last month as a kidnapping. Andrea had just been dropped off at work by her mom and her sister when the pair witnessed masked federal agents grabbing her and taking Andrea in an unmarked car during an immigration raid. One video shows a masked agent lifting Andrea off the ground.
You see who's helping them, though. You see the police. The ICE agent is right
and
here.
And carrying her away. Andrea's sister, Estrella Rosas, spoke with CBS News Los Angeles.
So I'm not going to play too much more of this. It's still like another 6 minutes or so for time's sake, right? But you see what ended up happening. Who's backing it? The police stand back and they stand down and they say, go ahead, get her. We're just here to control the crowd. We're just here to make sure nobody interferes with this. These are two women. Where's the criminality in what them going to work? One you snatch up in the middle of the night as she's going to work. The other one's going to work. The question is, who and how is giving the information regarding where they work at, who these women are, and what's going on? See, the corporations now are already in lockstep, and they're saying, we're going to have to submit and report to you who's working for us. Get rid of them. We can't hold them because we ain't going to have our businesses shut down. Gotta go. Okay? That's just an example. Now, let's look at this real quick. Is birthright citizenship decision the Supreme Court expanded Trump's power? Best believe it is. Let's look at this for a hot second. Now, Trump is saying, hey, birthright citizenship, that was only based for slaves, for the children of slaves. It ain't talking about anybody comes over here, voluntarily sneaks into the country, has a baby, and their baby now has become a citizen. No. We're getting rid of that. Yeah, it's true what he's saying in regards to birthright citizenship. I believe it's the 14th Amendment, that the children of slaves were automatically made citizens. Right. But he's saying, hey, this don't extend to anybody else sneaking over here. Now the Supreme Court is like, you got a point. But look at this. On the surface, the Supreme Court's ruling in the birthright citizenship Trump versus Casa was about to dry legal question of whether federal district courts can issue, quote, universal injunctions, orders constraining the government from acting against individuals beyond those who brought the lawsuit. But the impact of the court's decision is likely to be seismic, both because of the fundamental nature of the right involved in the underlying challenge and because of what the ruling portends for future challenges to unlawful execution action. Remember what it say about the police state? That there was going to be a discrepancy between little distinction between the law and the exercise of political power. So we see that. It is important to note at the outset that as of today, July 1st, 2025, nothing has changed about birthright citizenship, notwithstanding Friday's decision. That means that a child born in the United States today is a U.S. citizen, full stop. It does not matter what state that they are born in or the immigration status of their parents. That child is fully protected by the 14th Amendment citizenship guarantee. But what happens after July 25th depends on several factors. So they try to act like there's a little bit of light. So right now it's still there. But you know, after things pass through Congress and everything else, and it gets signed off in the Senate and everything, it takes a minute for everything to kick in. So they're saying, but after July 25th, who knows? So for those, you know, you pregnant and you waiting to get your baby out between now and then, you do this month, and you want your baby to be you better pray that it comes before then, because things are going to change, right? I'm gonna just drop down right to the bottom. If y'all want this article, it's on AmericanImmigrationCouncil.org. AmericanImmigrationCouncil.org. Here's a website up here. If you want a little bit more information regarding where we're going, I just want to get down to this point right here. The CASA decision is another in a series of Supreme Court actions that closes or at least impedes access to the courthouse doors for less resource challenges. As Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, you remember her? She's the same sister, the first Black woman, appointed as a Supreme Court justice who couldn't tell you what a woman is. If you remember her, as a justice, she's a Supreme Court justice. Ketanji Brown Jackson noted in her dissent and her feedback regarding this judgment. What did she say? The decision will disproportionately impact the poor, the uneducated, and the unpopular, i.e., those who may not have the wherewithal to lawyer up and will all too often find themselves beholden to the executive's whims. So who do you think the poor is? I mean, we ain't got to go there. You look at Isaiah 61, Luke 4, let's see, I gotta go there. I just gotta go there. I'm trying to be concise, but the Spirit said no. Isaiah 61:1, the Spirit of Yahweh, the power, is upon me, because Yahweh hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of Yahweh and the day of vengeance of our power, to comfort all that mourn. This is the true gospel. This is what we're waiting for, to proclaim liberty to the captives, those who've been brokenhearted, right? Good tidings to the meek. We've been acknowledged as being the poor as well in various other scriptures. So when we're seeing this play out, Ketanji Brown is saying this is going to disproportionately impact the poor, the uneducated, and the unpopular. So this is targeted towards who? The children of Israel. Plain and simple. Black, Hispanics, Native Americans, by and large, are the poor, uneducated, and unpopular. Right? Let's look at this one. This is part of the feedback coming from this particular case. Okay. Let's jump up. We'll see this. And you can see here, SupremeCourt.gov. This is a governmental document. The Supreme Court of the United States. President Trump of the United States versus CASA, an application for a partial state. This is dealing with the birthright citizenship ruling. Now, I just want to get down to one point. Where's she at? This is another Justice Sotomayor, Northern Kingdom sister. She's on the Supreme Court. What did she say here? Okay. This is on page 56 of it. What does she say? No right is safe in the new legal regime the court creates. Okay. Should I repeat that? No right is safe in the new legal regime the court creates. She's part of the Supreme Court justice. She has been appointed as an insider, and she's saying what? No right is going to be safe under this new regime. Today, the threat is the birthright citizenship. Tomorrow, a different administration may try to seize firearms from law-abiding citizens, or look at this, or prevent people of certain faiths from gathering to worship. She's already putting out there. Why could she even bring up these particular scenarios? Because these are things that probably was being talked about in their discussions. Prevent people of certain faiths from gathering to worship. Well, we just read Revelation 12, right? What did it say? That the dragon was wroth with the woman. She says that this is what's coming down the pipeline. Now, she can put it out there as a hypothetical, but we know there ain't just no hypothetical. Okay? Let's get to it. Let's get to some more stuff. Now, to remind you, here we go, right here. Look, police state, a state in which the government exercises rigid and repressive controls over the social, economic, and political life of people. Yeah, they're monitoring your social media. They're monitoring what you can and can't do out here in the streets. Economic, yeah, they're definitely out here controlling the economics. They're manipulating the books, crashing economies, fake paperwork out there regarding the job numbers. What else are they doing? Layoffs is jumping off. They're getting ready to institute a cashless society. Everything is going to be digitized. They're going to control the economics and political life of people. Roll our party or else, right? Especially by means of a secret police force. Well, this is why you see them. Masked up, unmarked, no questions answered. Immunity to do what they want. Right? Let's continue. Look, here we go. Trump threatens, quote, bad guys. Trump threatens to throw bad citizens. Did it say illegals? Huh? Citizens. The hell out of the U.S. as his next major action. What? His next major action. Let that marinate while I read. President Donald Trump warned American criminals they may be the next inhabitants of, quote, alligator Alcatraz. Well, so Nick Rose is very familiar with being used as alligator bait, huh? We're not too far disconnected from remembering that. Black babies being utilized for bait with alligators. How ironic that now in 2025, the same terminology, the same type of oppressive system is being used metaphorically to destroy and to entrap into the mouth of a cage. The mouth of the alligator will be the cage in this metaphorical stance. Remember, zoomorphism, if you want to double back on the class I did on Genesis 3, that's where I'm going at it. That's where I'm going with this, right? Next inhabitants of the alligator Alcatraz facility and deported out of the country. Remember that whole thing, they got built up within, they're getting ready to get that thing situated within months. 5,000, be able to house 5,000. It's already being compared to a Auschwitz camp. I don't remember if I did or didn't. I might have an article in here where there is being comparisons to the two. How they're lining this thing up. Trump just went down there and visited it. This is where he's talking about, oh, the next thing is throw bad citizens the hell out. Well, who's going to be considered bad? Somebody that ain't speaking against him. People that don't go along with the program. People that maybe he may determine as threats to the democracy, to the republic. Who's bad people, right? Let's continue. He issued the threat during a tour of a migrant detention center in the Everglades surrounded by alligators, musing that homeborn, bad people may be his next target to get them the hell out of the U.S. Now, you notice how goofy he is. The damn Everglades in Florida is in the U.S., but where is he going to send them? Is he talking about alligator Alcatraz? Is he talking about somewhere else? That's how ridiculous he was. But anyway, we also have a lot of bad people that have been here for a long time. He says some of them were born in our country. Who's been here for a long time? 400 years, blood, sweat, and tears. You ever hear that phrase before? Who was just talking about the year return in 2019? Huh? A lot of bad people have been here for a long time. Some insurrectionists, some seditious people out here speaking against me and my regime. Some people who are out here defending my policies on immigration. Rebelling against my policies on immigration. Some people who don't like the fact that, the rich stay rich and the poor get poorer. A lot of bad people. Some of them that were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here too, if you want to know the truth. So maybe that'll be the next job. Oh, okay. Let that marinate. Let's continue. Hold on. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not passing up. Look, ICE prepares detention blitz with historic $45 billion in funding. The tax and spending bill passed by Congress on Thursday would triple federal funding for immigrant detention centers, setting the stage for a rapid expansion of these facilities and adding to concerns about the treatment of the growing numbers of immigrant detainees. Remember, even with the alligator Alcatraz, that was instituted and being ran by FEMA, who they somehow, at one time when we're dealing with these quote unquote natural disasters from flood storms, hurricanes, that they ran out of money. FEMA was supposed to be broke, but they got money to get these detention centers up. I'm sure some of y'all have heard the term FEMA camps. If you haven't, look it up. The institution of those is already being done. The funding is there. The big, beautiful bill is going to make sure that that thing gets done. $45 billion. Congress allocated $45 billion to spend locking up immigrants over the next 4 years. Oh, but not only them. They said very bad people too, who were born here, been here for a long time, might need to go too. More than government spent on detention during Obama and Biden and the first Trump administrations combined. Federal data shows the bill also includes $46.5 billion for building the wall, the U.S.-Mexico border, and $6 billion for border technology and what? Surveillance. Okay, what's that about? Look, ISIS, $175 billion windfall. Trump's mass deportation force set to receive military-level funding. You know that this budget right here exceeds the Marines, exceeds some of the other military-based groups that America stands behind and is defended by. Why are they getting this amount of money and funding? How about this? President Trump's budget, which passed the Senate Tuesday, allocated some $175 billion towards a mass deportation campaign. More money than almost any country spends on its military. Did you hear that? Just for ICE alone, just for this particular function alone, they have spread the wealth. $175 billion. That's more money than Russia spends on its military. Think about that. Any country that spends on its military, many times the estimated yearly cost it would take to end world hunger. So forget the starving families in throughout the world and third world countries that's starving. Forget about the Haitians over there eating mud pies. They're looked at as the enemy. They can starve and they can eat mud all day and they can get shipped out to God knows where in every hell-forsaken country, God-forsaken country in the world. They got the money that they can stop and end world hunger. They can build up and industrialize and help. They ain't gonna do that. They don't do that. Wednesday, Senate Republicans greenlit a budget that would cut taxes for the wealthiest Americans. Cut taxes for the wealthiest Americans. Remember, they spend their days in wealth. They're getting all this money while slashing services like Medicaid and SNAP for everyone else. Yeah. You know how many of our people are dependent upon SNAP? Formerly, what do they call it? AFDC or food stamps. SNAP now because it's all on the card now. You know, EBT. I told y'all years ago that when they come for the be out here acting a fool. When Yolanda was getting, $500 a month or whatever for her grocery bill for her and her 3 kids, and now that's being reduced down to $300, hypothetically. Yeah, that's going to drastically affect that budget and what's being fed. And then when they tell Yolanda, guess what? And we're going to give you a year to get out that house and find a job, or you're going to lose it all. Well, unfortunately, Yolanda, there's layoffs going all over the place. The job market is crazy. You're going to have a hell of a time trying to find a job with no experience. You ain't had a resume built up in the last 15 years. And you think you're finna jump out there and get into the workforce? Something's waiting for you out there? Oh, let's not forget all the fake jobs that's out there in the whole night. Oh, Yolanda's ASS out. And so are them babies. Ultimately, that's where they want everything to go. SNAP for everyone else. Yeah, Section 8. Remember, all those things they're targeting. If you remember some months ago, I did the compare a little bit of comparison between Trump and his idol Reagan. Remember, Reagan said he wanted to get rid of the welfare queens and everything else. And he's modeling his whole system after the same type of structure. Continuing on for the White House, however, the most important part of the bill seems to be the funding of Trump's campaign to purge immigrants and potentially American citizens from the country. There you go. GOP budget bill would make ICE the, quote, largest federal law enforcement agency in the history of the nation. He just highlights. This is just more witnesses. Okay. Largest federal law enforcement agency in the history of the nation. Why would you build up this secret police? Why are they getting so much funding? Why are they getting military style budgeting? Unless they're going to be, it ain't just some temporary thing. Oh, once we get it cleaned up, man, yeah, y'all going to go back and we take the money. No. This is based upon the new regime. The police state is going to be established here in the Americas, man. They're going to check papers. They're going to check the QR code. They're checking your phone. They're going to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you're not, you getting up out of here, they're going to be a problem. ICE budget now bigger than most of the world's military. There we go. Let's look at this.
No. No.
You look at it. Get out. Roll your window down so we can talk. They're talking fine through the window. But I'm gonna play some of them and see if y'all pay attention to what they're doing.
You've been following us this whole time. Nope, I'm not getting out of the car. Not getting out of the car, and I'm not opening the window.
What's going on? You've been following us this whole time.
I sure have. Yeah, because you tried to kidnap some people in my neighborhood. I'm not opening the car. Don't break my window, dude. You don't want to.
Now look at this.
Problem? Why are you following us?
I don't want you to.
Why is he doing this? Taking the picture so that facial recognition, they can send it to the new database so that they can sit back and say, hey, do we have anything on this guy? Run it back to us so that we can snatch him up out of here and we got justification to bust that window out and yank his butt up out of there. He's following them. He's a private citizen. Why can't he observe and see what they're doing? If this is federally funded, this is coming from taxpayer dollars. Hey, technically, check this out. You work for me. I'm going to make sure that you're doing a good job or not. I'm supervising you. How about that? You can't do that, huh? This is why he's taking a picture so that he can go through the AI federal database that they're going through Palantir, getting it through Oracle and everything else. This is what's going to be happening in the very near future for everybody. They ain't going to need it. What's your name? All they're going to do is, because you know how it goes. Negroes is used to giving fake names. You get pulled over. Yeah, what's your name? Tyrone Jenkins. Tyrone Jenkins, where you live? Oh, okay, you run it down. He's clean. He ain't got no ID. Yeah, we're going to give you a ticket for this, that, and the third. Or, you know what? Tyrone Jenkins, man, you got a warrant. No, I'm just playing. My name is Jerry. Now all of a sudden you want to tell the truth. Soon they're going to be like, you know, we don't need to know. Run it through the database. Facial recognition going to say who you are, what you ain't doing, who you are and what you ain't doing, or what you have done. Fingerprint on point. Put your finger out, put your finger on here. Biometrics, got you. Let's continue.
I don't want you to kidnap my neighbors, man.
Enforcement.
I don't want you to kidnap my neighbors.
The reason why you're following us.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep you from kidnapping my neighbors. I want to warn them if you show up.
Yep, there go another one.
What's up, guys?
Look at it.
Is there a reason why you're following us?
I'm trying to see where you're going if you're kidnapping my neighbors.
Go ahead and leave.
Go ahead and leave, huh?
Leave.
Why?
Leave. You're blocking traffic. Leave.
I'm blocking traffic?
Leave.
See that? And you see that guy got a little Negro over there. He think he's part of the regime. Yeah. He think he part of the fun.
What?
Look, he pulled out.
No.
Why the next guy coming?
What?
Oh, you see him pull his firearm?
No. Can you call these guys off? Can you call these guys off?
See, now the cop comes out. He says, roll down the window. He says, no. He says, I'm not ICE. I'm not with them, but I'm going to be the one that's going to mediate the whole situation.
I'm afraid of these guys.
I'm not ICE.
I get it.
Okay, listen, I'm not ICE. I'm Federal Protective Service.
Okay.
I'm a peace officer in the state of California.
Okay.
Can you roll down your window?
It's down as neat. I can hear you. You can hear me.
What's going on?
No, he's with Homeland Security. They all together, but see how they, as the crowd just pointed out earlier, they're all combining forces, but the illusion is we're not together. If you can't get the information, I'll get the information. I'm a peace officer. I'm not ICE, but you're all working for the same regime. You're all working for the same thing. You're all getting the same paycheck.
I followed these guys out of my neighborhood because they tried to abduct people without showing any identification, and then they pulled me over here and started drawing guns at me.
Okay.
I followed them at a very safe distance. I was not intimidating them whatsoever.
Okay, so yeah, just stay out of their operations, all right?
I did not interfere with their operations.
Don't block traffic, okay?
I'm trying not to block traffic. They're the ones who stopped me.
Okay.
Thank you for diffusing this. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
sorry, no, I just pulled in here as I saw.
That's what's coming down the pipeline, y'all. And you can tell by that dude, it's probably safe to say that was Edomite that was talking. Is it possible that that voice and that inflection and that tongue sounded like a Negro or Hispanic? I don't think so. It sounded like an Edomite, man. He got off because of who he is. If it was a Jake, that window would got bust out, even got yanked out, it'd been a problem. But look at this. Why is he justified even in doing this? This is an article from February. Multiple ICE impersonation arrests made during nationwide immigration crackdown. They're running around out here, man. That's why I said you can mess around and go get one of these Proud Boys and one of these little right-wing extremists, whoever, go get a damn ICE jacket and t-shirt and a fake badge and run around and wreak havoc in our neighborhoods. Snatch up women, rape them, who knows? But this is already on record. That fake ICE impersonations arrests are jumping off. You can buy cuffs publicly. You can order a fake damn ICE jacket or something off of Amazon or who knows where. It's already been done. So now you can't trust what's going on. And now that he's got this budget, you're damn right, he's about to expand power. Look at this now. This is why I said they're taking a picture, they're doing all that. The Trump administration is building a national citizenship data system. So yeah, it's starting with the Real ID. It's starting with facial recognition, fingerprints, biometrics. This is why, if you notice, most of the new security systems for all of your online systems, everything, they want you to do a two-step system. Many of them want you to just do a biometrics. It's already started with the phones. Apple wants you to do a facial scan to unlock your phone, thumbprint to unlock your phone. Everything is already listed in the biometrics. They download that. They send it off to the government agencies and say, here, we got this one in. We got this one in. We got this one to agree. That one to agree. Now load it in the database. Right? Trump administration has, for the first time ever, did you hear that? Notice, first time ever, the largest military spending budget that they're putting into a federal agency. First time they ever doing it. Now, first time ever, this administration is building a national citizenship data system. Why they want to track and trace and know who you are, where you going, where you from? Why do they want to do all that? Why are they trying to track everything? This is part of the B system. This is part of the ultimate forms of oppression, the ultimate forms of degradation, the ultimate forms of control, right? And it's all coming through him. The tool, which is being rolled out in phases, see, it's slow drip. Slowly, you be a little bit easier. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Oh, that's fine. Oh, ouch, that hurts. Oh, it didn't hurt too bad. It's okay. Until they just go for the neck. Boom, you're out of here. The tool, which is being rolled out in phases, is designed to be used by the state and local election officials to give them an easier way to ensure only citizens are voting. Remember, they was always talking about, oh, the election was stolen. Oh, these were fake votes. All that. And you know how many of them white folks run around here saying that Trump stole it? They stole the election. Biden. So they got them all on board. Now, that's being twisted and utilized into a whole new surveillance system, just like they did in 9/11 with the Patriot Act. And they said, oh, this is about stopping terrorism. This is about controlling travel, and everything else. Huh? Now it's a whole new thing. Look, but it was developed rapidly without a public process. And some of those officials are already worrying about what else it could be used for. NPR is the first news organization to report the details of the new system. Oh, the beast system. Oh, okay. For decades, voting officials have noted that there was no national citizenship list to compare their state list to. So they verified citizenship for their voters. They either needed to ask people to provide a birth certificate or passport. Same thing they're doing right now for federal identification. With the real ID, if you don't have it, you're going to need to produce an ID. And along with your ID, you got to have your birth certificate or passport to identify who you are. You won't be able to fly domestically. You can't enter a federal building. You can't go get ammunition. You can't do a whole lot of things if you don't have two forms of ID. Same way they're doing physically, the same way they're trying to do with a lot of these password certifications for most of these apps now. Everything is okay. You log in, you do your password, then they're saying, okay, we're going to have to send your phone a code, put the code in to make sure you're able to log in. Oh, you're tired of doing that and, going through all of that? Well, hey, just give us your fingerprint. And you can just unlock your phone, unlock your app, unlock this, and get your banking information. Very simple. Just give us your fingerprint. Oh, you don't do that? Oh, I know you love selfies. How about you just go ahead and give us a headshot? Give us a nice little, give some nice little headshot, man. Let's let the facial recognition do the work for you. I know you don't like constantly put in your user ID, your password, and then you got to get a code sent to you, and then you got to get a phone call to confirm that it's you. And you don't want to do all that. Don't worry about it. So digitally, they're doing minimum two forms of ID for many of the new applications and many of the new security systems of the log on. And then physically, they want the same thing. See how that works? So it says you need a passport, birth certificate, something that could disenfranchise millions or use a complex password of disparate data sources. Let's continue. This guy right here, how about when we're talking about these systems that he's utilizing, we've talked about it before. Palantir, Oracle, Google, AI. These are all systems that this new big, beautiful bill has expanded and is going to give billions to these technology companies so that they can expand the grid of track tracing and even funding methods of transhumanism. Peter Thiel is one of these guys. You want to know? Hold on.
So Elon Musk recently suggested that Trump hasn't released the Epstein.
Calm down. Before we go there, let's look at a couple of the players. Okay, you know about this guy? If you don't, Larry Fink. You want to put faces to the names? BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. BlackRock is the largest management firm. You can see down here, right? Where's he at? BlackRock, world's largest asset management firm, overseeing approximately $11.6 trillion in assets under management as of 2024. So if you want to know who, economic controls, what's going on with this beast system, he's one of the players in the game when it comes down to the economy, right? When you see it, when you're seeing changes in the economy, the technologies that he's standing behind, you know, what's he saying, what's he doing? You want to know about this? He's one. Larry Fink, right? Here's another guy, Larry Ellison, founder and CEO, Oracle Corporation, which earned him a spot as the 5th wealthiest person in the world. Notice you notice one common theme: they all got money. They're all part of the 1%. They're all part of the elite, right? Oracle, as you know, this guy got sued for illegally tracking. Maybe I don't remember. Maybe I don't. Y'all don't remember. You ain't heard about it. Hold on. Why is it so small? Something's going on. Maybe you don't remember. Oracle lawsuit. What happened with him? See this? Oracle settles suit over tracking your data. How to file a claim. Oracle class action lawsuit. Oracle has to pay $150 million of privacy settlement. So this guy has already been Larry Ellison. Let's get back to him. Where's he at? Oops. Larry Ellison. Here you go. Larry Ellison vaults his way to the 2nd richest person on the earth. Look at these demons, man. He's already been busted, utilizing his technology to track and trace people illegally. Now he just got a bonus from Trump to say, hey, this is a very good technology that you got going on. Under my regime, you won't be prosecuted. Under my regime, you'll be allowed to use this stuff. Under my regime, it's all good. I need that. Okay. Now you got this other guy, Peter Thiel. I'm getting ready to show you a thing about him. Peter Thiel. He's another demon. Peter Thiel joins tech billionaires, backing new lender. Look at all the billionaires, tech billionaires. He's part of this foundation. He's a founder of Palantir. Palantir, let's look at here. American political activist, a co-founder of PayPal, Palantir Technologies, and the Founders Fund. He was the first outside investor in Facebook. According to Forbes, as of May 2025, Thiel's estimated worth stood at $20.8 billion, making him the 103rd richest individual in the world. Palantir is being utilized as a data tracking, technology. See down here? Following PayPal, Thiel founded Clarion Capital, a global macro hedge fund based in San Francisco. 2003, he launched Palantir Technologies, a big data analysis company, and has been its chairman since its inception. Palantir is utilized for data collection. Okay. Look where he comes from. Germany, huh? Okay. As much as he's talking about damn immigrants and everything else. Oh, and look. Hold on. And he's a sodomite too. See what his spouse is? Sodomite. Okay, and why is that important? Because watch this. That's just a couple of the players, right? I don't want to deal too long, go too far down the rabbit hole and lose some of y'all, right? But I want to get to the point. So when we're talking about who are some of the players in the game, who's over here controlling and got their hands in his web, yanking and pulling and grabbing and want access to things, these are some of the guys. Now let's look at Peter Thiel. This guy that's one of the founders of Palantir, which is going to be used for data collection, monitoring, and all of that other stuff, right? Part of this national citizenship data system. They're all going to work together. Him and Larry Ellison and the rest of these demons in the dungeon. Let's listen to what he got to say.
So Elon Musk recently suggested that Trump hasn't released the Epstein files because he's in them. Let's talk about that. Trump flew on Epstein's jet, the Lolita Express. Trump and Epstein were close friends for years, and there are even recorded conversations where Epstein describes Trump as a good friend. Here's where it gets deeper. What connects Trump, Epstein, and Peter Thiel? It's more than just power and money. It's ideology. Zionism, eugenics, transhumanism. Epstein had ties to Mossad. He funded eugenics projects and literally wanted to seed the human race with his sperm. He was also deeply involved in transhumanist research. Peter Thiel helps the IDF build kill lists with Palantir AI software, has invested in life extension and gene editing tech.
Hold on. Did you hear what he just said? Hold on, back it up a little bit. How does he assist the small hats?
Palantir AI software has invested in life extension and gene editing tech. Peter Thiel helps the IDF build kill lists with Palantir.
Build kill lists with Palantir. Marinate on that.
Palantir AI software has invested in life extension and gene editing tech and has spoken favorably about positive eugenics. And Trump has repeatedly promoted
positive eugenics. Has that ever been positive for us? If you get back to Margaret Sanger, the mother of eugenics, right? What does she always say about black folks? They are like weeds that need to be rooted out. Population control, anti-black and brown. And he says, hey, there's some positive to that.
Promoted eugenicist views. He's cozied up to big tech transhumanist players and offered unprecedented support for Israel. So as we continue shining a light on these individuals, we cannot forget the danger of their underlying ideologies as well.
Okay, let's hear from his mouth.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes.
I don't know. I would.
What's the matter? Why? He can't just say yes. Of course, I want all humanity. And this guy's a Christian too. He says he's a Christian. He's a Christian. However, you know, he's got a husband. He's a no sexual. Right, a no sexual. And he says, hey, would you like humanity to survive? Why is that a hard question? It's because he wants to try to politicize and say the right thing because he'd like it to survive, but without you, me, or the 12 surviving and the rest of the useless eaters out there, he'd like to survive that way. Well, let me finish. I don't want to speak for him.
For the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes.
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit
Should
in
the
this.
human race survive?
Yes.
Okay. You would prefer the human race. You would prefer the human race to endure, right?
Now I'm gonna play the rest of that was a short clip. I'm gonna play the rest of what he got to say. Listen to what he says.
You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes.
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit in
Should the
this.
human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But
when there's a but behind that, that's a simple question to answer. But under what guidelines, what stipulations, how would he like it to survive? What would he want to have? You follow? It's got to be under his terms. This is how the so-called white man says he's going to be like the Most High. He wants to establish judgment. He wants to say who lives, who dies, who gets mercy, who doesn't. Hold on.
I also would I also would like us to radically solve these problems.
Right.
And so it's always, I don't know, transhumanism is this,
If you don't know about transhumanism, I talked about this maybe 10 years ago or longer. Bottom line is kind of utilizing technology to merge machine with humans. They want to utilize it as a means to have life extension. This is the so-called white man's future, is how he feels he can be immortal, is by merging particular bionics and machinery with humans to extend their lives, right? And they're going to institute it, and they're just going to say, hey, we're just talking about, somebody who's blind, utilize technology to help them see better, at least see figures. or somebody that lost their hand, we'll be able to institute them with a new robotic hand. It's for the betterment. It's for good. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, man, they're trying to figure out how they can extend their life with heart monitors that keep you alive, blood flowing, all kind of madness.
Ideal is this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. And there's a critique of, let's say, the trans people in a section.
Now, what? Look at where his examples come from. Look at where he draws from the transhumanism. Mind you, this guy's a no-sexual, right? And this is the stages. You want to know why there's a big alphabet community jumping off here, why they're getting the funding, why they're getting the faces put out there, why it's being popularized, why RuPaul can make multi-millions of dollars with drag race shows and everything else. Why are they pushing a particular agenda? It's because some of their controllers are living that lifestyle. And that's the softening up for everybody to accept the next transformation, the next Decepticon movement. Listen to his examples. I'm gonna let it play. I just want y'all to make sure you're paying attention, you listen, and you catch what he says. The comparisons of what everybody's used to seeing right now and where they want to take it.
There's a critique of, let's say, the trans people in a sexual context, or transvestite is someone who changes their clothes and cross dresses, and a transsexual is someone where you change your penis into a vagina. And we can then debate how well those surgeries work. But we want more transformation than that. The critique is not that it's weird and unnatural.
Did you hear that? We want more than that. So this is the low-level stages. Let the sodomites and let the no-sexuals and all them run around here and do their thing and act a fool, right? And get used to it being in your faces through the movies, through the TVs, through the books, through the education system, through the rights that they're out here saying that they're fighting for and everything. Get all that backing, right? But they said that's a low level. That's just the stages that we want to do because we want it to be even more than that. They want it to be more than that.
The critique is not that it's weird and unnatural. It's so pathetically little. And okay, we want more than cross-dressing or changing your sex organs. We want you to be able to change your heart and change your mind and change your whole body. And then Orthodox Christianity, by the way.
Change your mind and change your body. Okay. Where are they getting those particular concepts from? Revelation 13, just think about it. Marking your forehead, marking your arm. Not necessarily is all tech-based, but even changing your frame of thought. How many of our people are running around here saying, man, that's them. They do their thing. As long as it don't affect me, I don't care who you lay, who in your bed with. And it's not strange, man. That's normal, man. I got a cousin that's it. You follow? Like where it becomes normalized, where your mind now submits and says, hey, there's nothing wrong with what's going on. There's nothing wrong with this particular technology. Hey, I might just get it myself. Who knows? I'm open to anything. You start hearing those type of phraseologies coming out of the mouths of our people, it's a problem. And they're winning. Our opposition is winning when our people are doing that type of stuff or have those thoughts and don't stand on any particular moral grounds. This is why the law, statutes, and commandments is important. Because that's what separates us. That's what makes us holy. That's what sets us apart from the rest of the nations, because we stand on a moral and a civil code that says no. We stand on on a dietary code that says no. Ceremonially, we know what we are supposed to and not supposed to be doing. How do we worship our Father, our Heavenly Father? How we don't get caught up in these pagan and folly days like yesterday. But let me let it go.
The critique Orthodox Christianity has of this is these things don't go far enough. Like that transhumanism is just changing your body, but you also need to transform your soul, and you need to transform your whole self. And so,
right. But the other, wait. I'm sorry. I generally agree with what I think is your belief that religion should be a friend to science and ideas of scientific progress. I think any idea of divine providence has to encompass the fact that we have progressed and achieved and done things that would have been unimaginable to our ancestors. But it still also seems like, the promise of Christianity in the end is you get the perfected body and the perfected soul through God's grace. And the person who tries to do it on their own with a bunch of machines is likely to end up as a dystopian character?
Well, it's let's articulate this.
And you can have a heretical form of Christianity, right? That says something else.
You'll see, he's cutting him too, because he's letting him know. He's like, look, there's one way that you get eternal life, and that's through Christ and through the Most High and doing righteousness. Now, this Edomite, he don't know nothing theology-wise, but he is making a point and saying that eternal life, so forth and so on, the kingdom of heaven is only coming through one method. Remember, Christ is the door, so forth and so on, right? Anybody else try to come up any other way is a thief and a robber. So that's why he said, well, this person that decides they want to do it on their own and saying, I can offer you eternal life this way through technology and through the selling of your soul. Because remember, he said, we even want your soul.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit
Should
in this.
the human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's just changing your body, but you also need to transform
Perfected soul through God's grace, and the person who tries to do it on their own with a bunch of machines is likely to end up as a dystopian character.
Well,
now notice he said you try to do it on your own, right? But he said you want to transform and watch your soul as well. So look at this. Matthew 16:26, for what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? This is where it's at. This is what they want to be able to present and say, look, you want that Bible, or you want us to really give you and grant you real eternal life, man? We got the keys right here. All you got to do is bow down. All you got to do is accept. Hold on. What is it? 14, Isaiah 14. Well, this guy says what? Isaiah 14:13-14. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. This is the so-called white man establishing his rulership and his dominance. His mentality is what? Verse 14. I will ascend above the clouds of the house. I will be like the Most High. This is his God complex. This is him saying, I can offer you eternal life through my illumination, through my light, my light-bearing wisdom and knowledge. This is what he's offering. And the technology is here. You can see it here. This is one of the guys Trump is giving.
Hey, I understand. The Judeo-Christian inspiration is. It is.
Mind you, he's got the nerve to be talking about the Bible, salvation, eternal life, so forth and so on, and he's a damn sodomite. Let alone, that's what the Most High said in Psalms. What do the heathen? What does it say? The heathen have to do to declare my statutes? Paraphrasing. I mean, he got no damn business. The classic verse, Psalms 147:19-20 says, he has not dealt so with any nation concerning the word of the Most High. They don't have a clue. This is why they come and conceptualize, and then they sit down and justify the wickedness.
It is about transcending nature.
And here he is talking about transcending, transhumanism, trans this, that, and the third, man. I got to move on. But go look up some of the videos talking about this guy, Peter Thiel, man. Wicked is all outdoors. And he just got a big budget to create a database, right, to get at everybody on the surveillance in the police state.
When I saw what was happening in this country, I wanted to do something to fight back.
Joshua Aaron developed IceLock. It's a free, crowdsourced app that alerts users when immigration and customs enforcement agents are spotted within a 5-mile radius of their location.
Will you just sort of explain what IceLock is and how it works?
Sure. So imagine if you're walking down the street and a notification comes up on your device. It says ICE has been spotted 4 blocks ahead. Instead of continuing down that path, you can turn left or turn around and avoid the situation altogether.
Aaron grew up Jewish and has a background in tech, music.
Oh, look who's coming to the rescue. The so-called Negroes and Hispanic. Oh, a small hat, right? Who's got sympathy for you? Hey, look, man, check this out. Jeremiah 15:11 says that he's going to do favorably when in our times of oppression. Don't sit back and say, well, they were right there fighting with us during our time of oppression. No. This is more or less of them measuring rods, if you know, to be as PC as I can, because here's one small hat battling another in the tech sector, saying, "Well, you've made something. I'm going to make something to counter your thing." That's all that is. But remember, he says, "Hey, he's a small hat man who feels sympathetic because it reminds him of something."
Music and activism. He says he sees parallels between the Trump administration's immigration crackdown and Germany.
You see how they had to bleep that out? You can't say that word. That's why I have to spell out. You get see how the tech is already lined up saying, "What'd you say? Did you say a word that we don't like? Did you say something that reminds you of what? Shut it down." The surveillance is already there. You dig what I'm saying? Like you got to censor yourself because you can't even speak truth. But he says, "Hey, this reminds me of something bad that happened to my people." But we made a comparison about them and the Stasi and all that a couple weeks back. He sees it.
Literally watching history repeat itself.
Really?
And so I thought, what if there was an early warning system? And that's what became IceBlock.
I'm looking at LA now. I'm seeing one in East Hollywood. And then as I zoom out, it's showing me a few others.
So he's got an app now that gives individuals a heads up that says, "Hey, ICE is around the corner. Beat feet and get up out of there. Don't go this way. They're around the corner." Right? But this is a battle of the nerds. Right? As one says, "Hey, I got something to counteract what you got going on," until his app gets shut down and everything becomes completely totalitarian. And anybody that utilizes this app, they'll mess around and say, "You're obstructing justice. You're getting locked up for that." You know, he's lining people up to get jacked up in the long run, because they're not going to allow this ICE block to be, a sustainable thing, because they're going to say this is being utilized to obstruct justice. Anybody that's got it downloaded on their phones, you can be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And he's going to be sitting back in his high rise like, "Oh, sorry, guys, I tried to help." You dig what I'm saying? But we'll move on. I'm not going to play too much more of this because I got more to cover. And not a lot of time. We see where this is going down. Utah man wrongfully detained by ICE for nearly 50 days, his attorney says. So people are getting snatched up. Don't know if they're citizens or not. We seen earlier, detained first, ask questions later, fake ICE agents out there, immunity given to them, secret police masked up, unmarked cars. They ain't answering no questions, carrying women off into cars, police standing by, not questioning. It's all bad. Look, Trump administration sets a quota to arrest 3,000 people a day in anti-immigration agenda. Remember, not too long ago, he said, "Get creative. I want you to figure out ways, make excuses. I don't care. Lock them up. Grab them up. I'm over here fast tracking, building up detention facilities. I'm getting these camps ready. And here you are slacking on the number. Get out there and make it happen." And sure enough, there they go. 3,000 people a day. They said that totals out to 1 million people a year. 3,000 people a day. They comb in the streets. Matter of fact, there's a here in LA in Inglewood, there's a popular car wash, and I was going to just pull up on it and do a quick little live and film it, but car wash in Inglewood is a pretty popular car wash. When I used to live in Inglewood, I used to go there all the time. Used to be jam packed with people, right? That thing is shut down, ghost town. Nobody's there. It's over with. Why? Because majority of people, man, shook from ICE. They had to shut the whole business down. That thing is no longer operable in operations because probably the majority of people they had working up in there probably wasn't supposed to be there, and they couldn't sustain business. But 3,000 people a day, that's the quota. This is why you're seeing them snatching up people that they don't know, ain't sure, doesn't matter. Disappear them, figure it out later. Let them fight in court, let them lawyer up. And remember, that's why Ketanji Brown said this is going to hurt the the poor, disenfranchised, uneducated people because they got to find lawyers to try to help them. And best believe there's not enough damn lawyers out there, civil rights attorneys that's going to work pro bono, which means for free, on these cases. When you got thousands of people saying, I need a lawyer, I ain't got the money. I need a lawyer, I ain't got the money. They ain't working for free. There's not going to be a gang of charitable or attorney organization going to say, I'll take the case. I'll take the case. Are you too? I got you too. Are you too? No. A lot of people are going to be disappeared and they ain't going to have the opportunity to have any particular legal backing or legal defense because they can't afford it. But you see here, there's a quota, 3,000 people a day. They want 1 million people a year up out of here. He got 4 years, so make figure 4 million people probably is the goal to get rid of them. And if they, if the next regime finds favor in this particular policy, they're going to continue going. Remember, he already said it. Bad people are next. It ain't just the Northern Kingdom. Don't get comfortable, niggas. You next. We next. Moving on. Look, arrest now, ask questions later. U.S. citizen seeks $1 million after arrest, detention for recording an immigration raid. Did you hear that? This guy was just recording an immigration raid. And notice what they do. Every time that something goes down, they'll sit back and throw a charge on you. Like they did the 10 tribe system with that from the Democracy Now! Video. They said even though they arrested her illegally, they said they ended up charging her with resisting arrest or battery or something like that. Well, what do you expect, man? Somebody pop up with a mask on and grab you and you fighting to get them up off you. Then they say, oh, you're resisting arrest and you assaulted an officer. We're going to go ahead and book you with that because, hey, we might not have been able to detain you because of your citizenship, but now we got you on assault. See how wicked that is? Now, mind you, here you go. You can't even be a private citizen now filming an immigration raid without them doubling down and grabbing you too. The Mexican American Legal Defense and Educational Fund said Wednesday they are preparing to initiate $1 million lawsuit on behalf of a U.S. citizen detained in LA after recording a raid at a local Home Depot. Recording a local Home Depot raid. The civil rights organization filed a claim against Immigration and Customs Enforcement, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, and the Department of Homeland Security. Remember that guy that pulled up? He said, I'm not ICE. I'm not ICE. He had the DHS on his badge. Remember that? The guy in the video? Yeah, they're all together. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, and the DHS regarding the treatment of Job Garcia. Interesting name for the brother. Job Garcia, 37, a PhD student and a photographer. This guy is a PhD student. He's studying to be a doctor and a photographer. He's out there filming this raid, and they go and roll up on him and snatch him up and disappear him. Maldev said immigration officers threw Garcia on the ground, then knelt on his back and neck as they handcuffed him for recording the raid and advising a commercial truck driver being questioned to not exit his vehicle or answer questions from law enforcement. See that? This is what Trump said. Oh, we got some bad people here too. Oh, so you want to film what's going on? You want to instruct people to, remain silent? You want to tell people, oh, you're obstructing this? Lock his butt up too. And I think later on in the article, they started charge him with resisting or assault or something like that too. They tried to throw some bogusness on him and arrested him. Didn't say it was for recording. It was because he obstructed the arrest or something like that. They did some foolishness, man. Just like the cat that they deported up out of here from Maryland, the 10 tribe cat, and they sent him over there in El Salvador, and they realized he was legal. And they were fighting and struggling to get him back. And they finally sent him back over here. And they said, oh, well, even though we made the mistake, but we're going to lock you up for trafficking. Yeah, we acknowledge that you had some illegals in your car one day. And we're going to say you was trafficking them. So now he's still in jail over here, facing another charge saying that he was trafficking illegals. See how they got the backups just in case. Let's continue. Trump's alligator Alcatraz compared to Auschwitz camps in terrifying similar pictures. Oh, yeah, look at it. Here's Auschwitz over here. And here's alligator Alcatraz. Built on dirt, cages, bunk beds. Huh? The new detention center was constructed in 8 days. So they fast tracking. They got the money. They got the cats out there, man, ready to roll. 8 days, over 10 miles of alligator-infested swampland, and features heavy security, which critics have compared to the conditions in concentration camps of the N-words, Germany. Huh? Okay. And your man said bad people are going there too. Citizens. Look at it. Trump admin deploying 200 Marines to Florida to support ICE deportation raids. So now the military is involved. Marines now going down there to monitor and defend anybody that's getting in the way of ICE rolling. Trump administration is sending 200 Marines to Florida to provide support for ICE deportation raids across the Sunshine State. Military officials announced Thursday the mobilization of Marines was revealed by U.S. Northern Command and came in response to a May request for military assistance from the Department of Homeland Security. The Marines will aid the Immigration and Customs Enforcement's, quote, interior immigration enforcement mission, according to a statement from U.S. Northern Command. See? Other deployments are expected in Louisiana and Texas. See, I ain't got to tell you, you can see it. You understand and know where this is going. Look at this. Nigerian woman breaks down after being detained and denied entry at U.S. airport over a social media post that revealed her true reason for visiting the country. So notice, they're not messing around. They didn't let her in here. They're checking social media. They're checking the phones. They're checking everything before you try to get in here. And soon they're going to be doing that before you try to get up out of here. What are you into? What are you up to? Look at this. Long story short, they got this. She's a businesswoman. She was supposed to be coming over here to a hair show or something like that in Texas, I believe. And she was only supposed to be coming over here to, get information, network, this, that, and the third. But they said that she was coming over here to sell some products, and she didn't have the legal ramification to sell anything because of what she posted on social media. She didn't do it yet. She hadn't done anything. They seen her social media post and said, "Oh, you said you coming over here to sell some of your hair or whatever the hell she was selling. Nope, you up out of here, boop, gone." Look at this. Another wake-up call in the era of law and order. Biden may have thrown open the borders, but Trump-era immigration policies still on the books. Fraud doesn't fly, no matter how many tears are shed. A Nigerian businesswoman, Chinelo Ejewanu, learned the hard way that the U.S. immigration doesn't play around when it comes to visa fraud, especially not under rules put in place during President Donald Trump's administration. As of June 18, 2025, the Trump administration's policies requires F, M, and J visa applicants to make all social media accounts public and disclose usernames from the last 5 years for enhanced vetting. I'm not tripping off of the Nigerian woman. If she lied, she was going to come over here and try to hustle and get some bread and get up out of here, and she did that illegally. It is what it is. The thing is that under the Trump administration, now they can have access to your social media accounts if you utilizing these visas. Israel's waking up throughout the four corners of the earth. Say you wake up in any particular country, right? And you saying, well, I'm going to move to the States, man, so I can be a part of the camp or the congregation. And, I got family over there. I'm moving up. You got any of these particular visas, and they go and look at your social media accounts the last 5 years, and you got videos, Esau, the devil, America's going to burn, blah, 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 we're the chosen. You ain't getting in here. That's out. You're going to look at as a political dissident. Somebody's coming over here to start sedition, a possible terrorist. and you got connections with this particular congregation, this church. Now we're on their ass too. That's what they need. That's what they're going to do. So it says only these particular visas, F, M, and J, got to make their social media accounts public, disclose their usernames for the last 5 years for enhanced vetting. That means that the policy targets student, vocational, and exchange programs. So it's got to be for these particular reasons. If you're saying you're coming over here to be a student, for a job, or for as part of an exchange program, you got to have your social media access, everything for them to check out. But if you're a tourist on business or a temporary visa, not right now. But that can change because notice here, this is also part of the article. However, U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers can search phones or computers and review digital content during entry inspections, regardless of your visa type. See, all you got to do is fit the profile, and they can say, "Guess what? Oh, you got them fringes on? Yeah, we're going to need to check your phone and your computers. We want to see what's going on with you." Got some things posted on there, videos posted, some vlogs you like. Oh yeah, you're not coming over here. That's just the beginning stage. It's about who's coming in, but then also they building walls and everything else to make sure you can't get out. And if you try to get out, oh, we're gonna have to make sure that we vet you out, and you ain't coming back if that's the case. Because notice where it says if they find posts or content flagged as if they find posts or content flagged as politically sensitive, extremists, what are they already calling us? Black identity extremists. Hello? You see where this is going? Or related to national security concerns, you may face denial of entry or detainment even with a valid visa. So for our brothers and sisters that's outside of Babylon and you trying to come over here, the stakes got a little bit higher, or they will continue to get a little higher if they feel you may be suspicious. Let me see what you up to. So much for quote unquote freedoms, huh? Let's continue. Trump threatens to launch Doe's investigation at Elon Musk and send the billionaire back home to South Africa. So the lovers' quarrel is over with. It's a big problem between them. He's even a threat. How are you going to send him back to South Africa, right? He was sitting there riding with you, Doe's the whole nine. Everybody sitting back saying, hey, he's South African. Why you ain't tripping on him? Now he's saying, yeah, I know, but I needed to use him. Like the scripture say, man, if he had needed it, he'll use the and laugh you to scorn when he's done using. Right? Immigration raid leaves crops unharvested. California farms are at risk. See that? When they ain't got our people out there, man, harvesting them farms. Now they talking about crops is being wasted. Millions could get lost. Farms is in trouble. Right? Let me blow this up again. Lisa Tate, a 6th-generation farmer from Ventura County, California, an area that produces billions, as Trump said, billion. I don't know how he'd be rolling them L's. Billions of dollars worth of fruit and vegetables each year. Much of it handpicked by immigrants in the U.S. illegally. In the fields, I would say 70% of the workers are gone. She said in the interview, if 70% of your workforce doesn't show up, 70% of your crop doesn't get picked and can go bad in one day. Most Americans don't want to do this work. Most farmers are here are barely breaking even. I fear this has created a tipping point where many will go bust. And that's just what they want. Why? Because now the frankenfood, GMO fruits now can take place, lab grown, this, that, and the third. You ain't got to worry about the Northern Kingdom out there picking your fruits up. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, cursed shalt thou be in the field. Deuteronomy 28:16. This is where we're at. 70% of the fields now in this particular farm in Ventura County, fruits and vegetables getting picked up is going bad, and they're threatening to lose business because now they ain't got the Northern Kingdom out there picking and doing the work that they won't do themselves. Trouble times, y'all. Musk renews attacks on Trump's quote, big beautiful bill, says it will destroy millions of jobs. That's already a fact. We can see what's going on, right? He's preaching to the choir because of the trillions of dollars of deficit and debt that it's getting ready to establish. Companies going out of business. People ain't getting it. The big corporations aren't getting these particular tax credits that they used to get. He's mad because the EV exemptions that he used to get for his electric vehicles and all that, he's not getting those things anymore, or it's being reduced. But he's acknowledging that this big, beautiful bill is going to destroy the economy. And guess what? They're going to want to rebuild it on the precipice of a beast system that's going to be digitized even more, built around surveillance, monitoring, cashless, less cash, and the whole nine. All right. U.S. dollar is on track for its worst year in modern history. So is a big, beautiful bill going to save it? Hell no. They want this thing to go down so that they can have the new currency systems. Let's back it up. The whole country is starting to look like California. Housing prices are rising fast, and red and purple states are being known for places to build. How can that be? If anybody knows what's happening with California out here, it's wild. Unaffordable to live. Rights is being stripped from us. Chaos always in the streets. And they're saying the whole country's starting to look like this. Everywhere is going to be a problem. Everybody, there's a big exodus of people leaving up out of California, and then the rich folks is coming in here. The gentrification is going down. You start seeing Edomites, man, in grocery stores and in places in the hood where you're like, what the hell are you doing here? And now it's just becoming normal. When you see white women walking their dogs with a Starbucks cup in their hand in South Central, it's over with. And that's exactly what's going down. But in other words, the way that California is imploding, they're saying that the whole country is looking like that. Case in point, Los Angeles is broke. The city declares fiscal emergency. Yeah, when you got a governor who lost $24 billion that was supposed to go to homelessness. Oh, I don't know what that is. We're not sure. Now look what's happening. He said, hey, this is just LA. But they're saying the whole country is going to be like California in a minute. City of LA declared a state of fiscal emergency amid $1 billion deficit. The council approved of the emergency declaration unanimously in a 14-0 vote. This comes after Mayor Karen Bass approved a $14 billion budget for the fiscal year that began July 1st. The city is a prime example of what happens when socialist policies are allowed to run rampant at the expense of the people. Let's drop down because they're talking about 600 people got laid off. Over 600 public sector workers will be let go as a result of fiscal mismanagement. And although small government is usually applaudable, the city plans to fire 248 LAPD employees, so less police on the streets, right? 44 sanitation workers. Your trash is gonna be sitting up for days because you can't, they're waiting for the damn truck to come through. 41 firefighters. As bad as we get fires and stuff out here, you think they can afford to lose firefighters? Probably not. But guess what? There'll be another Palisades. There'll be another Malibu, another Altadena. Because you got to shorten up on the firefighters. LA is experiencing a significant uptick in crime, but plans to defund the police to appease the mobs. There you go. Okay. This is what's going on over here. And mind you, 600 public sector workers being let go. Some of them, they said, well, we'll try to find them different positions within the county and within the city, more than likely at a lesser pay scale. Some of them just laid off. And that's why I said, hey, for Yolanda that's sitting out there on Section 8 and WIC and SNAP, whatever, you telling her she got to go get a job pretty soon and the benefits going to get cut. There ain't no jobs out here for you, honey. Death trap. Let's continue. American pride slips to a new low. Yeah, people are not backing and standing behind the prideful arrogancy of Babylon and his mother harlots anymore, man. Everybody's starting to get the feeling that, hey, the time is ticking on this place. The Israelites have been saying it for years on end. You just seen the song we played 27 years ago. We talking about the damn end of America. But guess what? Now it's really starting to see. Now that spirit is starting to come out. all of that proud American and all. You ain't seen Hulk Hogan running around here waving the flag, talking about eat your vitamins, say your prayers, and stand behind the flag anymore, huh? A record low, 58% of U.S. adults say they are, quote, extremely or very proud to be an American. Down 9 percentage points from last year and 5 points below the prior low from 2020. So all we see is the pride of America is dropping slowly but surely, man. Remember, the Most High said, the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. In Obadiah. This is all prophetic, man. All praise to the Most High that we see the diminishing of the pride of Babylon and America and the so-called white man. The 41% who are extremely proud is not statistically different from prior lows of 38% in 2022 and 39% in 2023. All we see is it continually getting worse and worse, man. Indicating most of the change this year is attributed to a decline in the percentage of who are, quote, very proud. So the proud boys and all that, hey, that's out of here. Let's continue. Women can be drafted into the Danish military as a Russian aggression and military investment grow. So if you remember, even Kamala, she wanted women to be drafted and all that, but they doing it over there in Scandinavia. And why are they doing that? Because of the risk of NATO going to war with Russia and the elevation of the threat of World War III. All the nations are gathering up. They even snatched up the women saying, you're going to get in here and fight too. You want equal rights? You want to be like the man? Hey, come on over here. You're going on the front line. That's where we're at. Okay, let's continue. Ukraine left scrambling after U.S. says halting some arms shipments. We talked about this earlier. The U.S. says, hey, slow up on them. Ukraine's acting a damn fool. They think they hardy and NATO's got their back like that. Hey, slow up on that, because guess what? We got this new big, beautiful bill that we're going to cut money from them. We need to invest more in America because we need to have global control based from this place known as Babylon, spiritual Sodom in Egypt. Everything's got to get funded in here. This thing's got to get rebuilt up with strength and power to control the rest of the world. Invest in here first because we're losing the grip. Ukraine, you better get in line. Just told all the NATO countries, man, they got to expand their budget, so they ain't got money to send you either. Ukraine about to get smacked and destroyed. Because remember, hey, Trump said last week, tell NATO, man, you got to increase your budget spending on defense. You ain't gonna keep, relying on us for it. So now, if they got to increase their budget spending, that means it's less going to Ukraine. America's already said, hey, slow down. We're not getting ready to, send them anything. And guess what happens after that? Oops. Thought I had a different article up next. Let me see. Where's that one at? Well, let's put this one here. We're gonna work as we go, y'all. We're gonna work as we go. Here we go. Work as we go. All right. I'm gonna blow this up a little bit. You're gonna see. So they say Ukraine's left scrambling, right? Pentagon halts weapons shipment to Ukraine amid concerns over U.S. stockpile. Why? America is building itself up. Look at this. The move was made to put America's interests first. A White House spokeswoman said U.S. munitions have been depleted in recent years. So America is saying, look, we're not going to keep sending money over here and sending weapons to Ukraine. We need to rearm. If y'all remember a few years back with the Ukraine war, I have videos of Slow Biden saying, hey, we're running out of weapons. We're running out of ammunition. We're running out of missiles. Like, America ain't got it like that. So now Trump is saying, look, let's look at the stockpile. Let's see what's going on. Whoa, we're low. Russia's over there building up new Rishnikov missiles every damn day. We need to amp up and get ready. So they're saying America first, man. We're not sending money out there and weapons to Ukraine right now. Vicious Vlad. Putin pounds Ukraine with 550 drones and missiles in the heaviest blitz of entire war just moments after the call with Trump. The blitz came after Pentagon decided to halt some critical arms shipments to Ukraine, including key air defense systems. So yes, we got to double back we're not going to forget about what's going on in the world in regards to world wars and so forth and so on. It's still lit up over there, and it's got even greater. After America backed off, Russia's going in for the kill. All right, so we're going to see how NATO responds to it, because NATO is hell bent on getting this World War III thing cracking with Russia, because they're saying after they're done with Ukraine, Russia's going to come after certain countries within NATO. There's no proof of it, but they're throwing that out there so that they can get proactive after this thing is done. All right, so let's continue. Did y'all see this? I just brought this out because the scriptures speak out the Most High is going to come with clouds. And I think that's in Isaiah 19. We know that the clouds also are the chariots, but just a visual. I'm not saying this is a chariot, but just when you see ominous rarity like this is at a beach in Portugal. There's a big cloud that moved on the beach. Watch it.
Building your online business?
No, I'm not.
Go to Wix.com and set up your...
Porquê? Porque têm que estar reunidas todas as condições, com todos os ingredientes, na altura certa e mesmo na hora do dia mais favorável, que é ou ao nascer do sol, portanto, ou ao amanhecer, ou ao entardecer, portanto, uma vez que existe aqui um grande gradiente térmico, as manhãs estão muito frias e a temperatura da água do mar da superfície é mais quente que a superfície terrestre, ou oposto.
I mean, you be bugged out too, man. When you see the clouds that low swarming in, taking over, it's almost like the fog. That movie, The Fog, or The Mist, is coming in. Look at it, they running up out the water, man. They don't know what's coming. That's what it's going to look like in the heavens, man. When you see these clouds breaking and these chariots coming through, they're going to be freaked out. We're going to be freaked out when you see something like that. When you start seeing phenomena like this happening, man, you know time is of the essence here.
Como aconteceu, portanto, no dia de ontem, esta formação ocorreu de uma forma mais simples, o processo devido à movimentação, portanto, da brisa marítima, que surge durante o entardecer e início da noite, mas devido a altas temperaturas na superfície terrestre, não...
I just want to show that with y'all. Another thing, we see the flooding that happened down there in Texas. Unconfirmed number of fatalities in Texas, flooding amid catastrophic rainfall, water, and rescues ongoing. Remember a few weeks ago, I brought out the article and they said the Department of Weather, whatever, they said that the hurricane season that's going to kick in, they said that America is not ready for what they're seeing on the weather graphs or whatever. The hurricanes are supposed to be coming and hitting this place right now. So, not saying that this is a hurricane, but we see the floods already happening. Number of fatalities, that's in Texas. FEMA saying they broke. Let's see what happens when the hurricane season kicks in, because supposedly it's going to be a wild season when it comes for hurricanes. We shall see. There was a blast that happened over there in Iran. Is this something that goes against this particular peace treaty? Let's see.
This hour, a powerful explosion rocked the Beheshti area in southern Tehran on Monday, reportedly during a meeting of senior commanders of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. While official confirmation is still awaited, multiple sources have reported casualties and injuries in the aftermath of the blast. Eyewitnesses say the explosion was followed by a thick plume of smoke rising over the city, prompting an immediate response from emergency services.
A thick plume of smoke, so it wasn't some explosion. I mean, hey,
ambulances.
They're questioning whether or not this peace treaty was broken between Iran and Israel. There's an explosion at rocks, fatalities involved, the whole nine. Far be it from the small hats, man, to pull a fast one. They've already said that they don't intend on this being a long-term peace treaty. Not peace treaty, excuse me, ceasefire. Okay. They ain't talking about that being long-term. I just seen a comment, man. Sis was on point. I don't know if she moved her comment, but she said she's talking about the robots taking over the farms and everything else. But yeah, that's true too.
Were seen rushing to the site, indicating the seriousness of the incident. Videos and images showing dense smoke are circulating on social media, though they are yet to be independently verified. Some breaking news there coming in from Iran. A powerful explosion has been reported from the Behesti area in southern Tehran. Now, what makes it even more significant is that the blast is believed to have occurred during a meeting of senior IRGC commanders, that is the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Sketchy.
You hear that? The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, while they were having a commanders meeting, here comes this great explosion. Is that ironic? Is that just happenstance? Maybe it just, just so happened to have somebody gas explode? No, I don't think so.
Details at the moment, there's no official confirmation from Iranian authorities yet, but several local sources are in fact reporting casualties.
So there you have it. For time's sake, I'm gonna move on with that. But you see that that ceasefire is in jeopardy right now. It might get back up, lit up again between Iran and Israel. Somebody's playing dirty. Somebody's playing dirty.
Eyewitness.
Okay. Look, Putin defends Iran's right to nuclear enrichment in first Macron phone call in 3 years. Putin standing behind Iran, saying, hey, they got the right to have this nuclear enrichment power. Give them the uranium. We're standing behind Iran. So if anybody's questioning whether or not Russia is going to stand behind the scriptures, according to Ezekiel 38, they're still standing there being a guard unto Persia, who is Iran. Nothing's changed. All praise to the Most High. Let's continue. Look at this. U.S. payrolls increased by 147% in June, more than expected. That's great, isn't it? U.S. payrolls are increased by 147%. I guess this is hold on. Wait a minute. What? Layoffs reach highest level since 2020. New data shows here's why companies are cutting jobs. What's the truth? Somebody's lying. You got two conflicting headlines. One saying payrolls has increased, jobs is up 147% in June, more than expected. And in the same breath, layoffs are reaching the highest level since 2020. And companies are cutting jobs. This is how you know that they be lying, man. Here we go. Here's another one. Why some fear government data on U.S. economy is losing integrity. What are they talking about? They're talking about fake jobs being created, fake numbers to utilize to manipulate the economies in the stock markets and so forth and so on. Notice the stock market's been booming the past few days, maybe about the past week. You're getting these fake reports out there. They going off. They believe in the reports. Remember last year when Slow Biden and them had to come clean and say, yeah, you know what, we have fake data on the jobs reports and all of that, man. Actually, we created, I think they said, 18 million jobs, 180 billion. I forgot the number, but it was something in an 18 something. But they came out and they lied and said, yeah, you know, the job data was fake. Matter of fact, I don't even want to misquote it. Let's make sure we got it correct. Biden administration lied about job reports. Let's see what they come up with. Oh, revised data exposes overstated. They don't want to say lied. Job creations. Look, 818,000. I'm saying 18 million. I knew it was 8 something. 818,000 jobs. 818,000. I'm missing that. 100,000 jobs were lied about. And then you wonder why you get reports like this. Some fear the government data on the U.S. economy is losing integrity. Yeah, because they've been lying about stuff. This is why you can see one instant they saying, oh, yeah, it's 147 new payroll jobs been increased. And then they sit back saying, oh, wait a minute. Layoffs is as high as it's ever been in the last 5 years. Where's all these jobs at? It's bad work going on out here, y'all. Here goes another thing right here. We talking about the fruits, or we talking about the farming? This ain't good. Canned goods company, Del Monte Foods, filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Del Monte's damn near about to lose it all. They got to do some economic reshuffling to figure out how they're going to keep business open. But their intentions are, hey man, shut them down because we've got the replacement foods already lined up. 139-year-old company, founded back in 1886, now in financial ruins, may not be able to sustain themselves. Many of you, and even myself, probably got some of these stacked up for a rainy day. You understand? And now they're in jeopardy of financial restructuring and may not, be able to continue business as usual. Clearly, they're not going to be able to because they're filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. But yeah, this is a problem. This is a problem, but this is where we're at. Before we leave, I need everybody to bow your heads, man. We lost a great one. Lost a great demon. Jimmy Swaggart. If some of y'all remember this guy, I remember as a kid, I didn't know who the guy was. I just heard about the scandal. And him crying on TV, saying, "Lord, I have sinned." And I remember in Living Color, Jim Carrey did a little sketch about this guy. One of the mega preachers back in the 80s, Jimmy Swaggart, is giving up the ghost. He got caught with a harlot. He was out there using church funds, man, to have some fun, doing something strange for some change with a prostitute, man. He got caught back in the day, and he repented live and cried on TV. Y'all don't remember? Okay, hold on.
Channel 5, KXAS TV.
And the cold part is that he got turned in by a rival preacher, man. They was going back and forth. The same preacher, he got caught up in the same scandal. They was backbiting and snitching on each other. Let me fast forward.
And confessing that he sinned.
Tears filled his eyes as Swaggart took the pulpit in Baton Rouge, Louisiana this morning to beg forgiveness. Channel 5's Tim Herrera reports tonight, Swaggart is stepping down from his powerful TV ministry while the Assembly of God Church investigates him for having an affair with a prostitute.
Jimmy Swaggart's the top-rated preacher on TV. He leads a multi-million-dollar evangelical empire. Now he's confessed to a moral mistake, and he's pulling away from the pulpit for a while.
I have sinned against you, my Lord. And I would ask that your precious blood.
Do you see a tear coming out of this guy's face, man? Okay, give me a break. Sorry for copyright sakes, man. Everybody gonna have to try to find a clip of that Jim Carrey spoof on him on their own on YouTube, man. But I know you know it. The tears couldn't stop flowing in that one. But here you go.
Would wash and cleanse every stain until it is in the seas of God's forgetfulness. Thank you. Thank you. And God bless you.
Standing ovation. Imagine that.
Marvin Gorman, a TV evangelist from New Orleans, was believed to have given photos of Swaggart and a prostitute to church leaders.
I have no comment on that.
He's a rival preacher. Another televangelist. He's the one who dropped the dime on him, man. They got sending out damn spies, man. He taking pictures, catching them caught up. He turns it into the church leaders and say, "Hey, this the guy you want, man? Hey, let me take his position." Caught him slipping. Meanwhile, this dude got caught doing the same thing.
Gorman confessed to immorality a few years ago, but blames Swaggart for accusing him of numerous affairs.
Look at these damn demons, man. The heathen is something else, boy. The heathen is something else, man. So, we lost a good one, man. Jimmy Swaggart, man. He's up out of here, man. Lost some content. Can't talk about him no more. Just like slow Biden. Damn shame. But, hey, all praise to the Most High, man. That's another demon of lies out the way. He probably had a little small contingency of Negroes, man, that was listening to him. I think what we say, like Usually I said, man, don't touch. Grandma said, don't touch the TV, man. Jimmy's on. Yeah, well, Jimmy's off right now, man. His TV got turned off. To quote Kendrick Lamar. All right, Jimmy's out of here, man. You see rival preachers, man, and dropping dimes on each other, man. It's nasty out there. Nasty out there. All right. All praise, honor, glory to the Most High, man. Prayerfully, man. I know it's a long one, a little extended time, but hey, we had to get this one in. We had to do it right. If anything went above your head, you missed something, whatever, double back, go get some more information. Rewatch it if need be. If you didn't get a chance to finish it, because I see the algorithms. I see some of y'all be tuning out. You watch for about 15, 20 minutes, you're out. I'll come back. You never come back. You're going to miss out on some things, man. It's very important as these things start closing in. Some of y'all ride on the way through. All praise to the Most High. But if not, you know what time it is, man. Make sure you go back, double back. Go ahead and share this with your loved ones, you know, if need be. But that's where we at, y'all. Want to give all praise, honor, glory to the Most High while you have a shot, man. Make sure that you always remember, fear the Most High, keep the commandments. But lastly, don't shoot the messenger. Most High permit, man. We got another good one coming up later this afternoon to close out the Shabbat, 4:15 Pacific Standard Time, man. Closing MOTC class. I know y'all probably got your head spinning saying, damn, we just did 2 hours with you. I don't know if I got it in me. You got it in it for the Lord, not for me, you, anything. Man. Come back, support the classes, man. Support the ministry. All you got to do is pop in, man. Throw a thumbs up. Get the algorithms kicking so that, you know, the videos can be spread. Other subscribers can be notified because Lord knows they definitely are trying to silence us over here as well as others, man. It is what it is. That's the cross that we bear. We go through it for Yahweh's sake, and that's what it is. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to get on out of here, man. Get ready for our closing Shabbat class in a few hours. Prayerfully. See y'all then. If not, see y'all in the next go round. Shalom.